So are you staying healthy, Chris?
I'm trying. It's been a extremely rough week. We lost our cat Tuesday after
Oh,
a long fight, and he didn't make it. So it's been a really bad week.
oh, it's hard to hear that.
Yeah, I
Was
mean,
it expected or like,
no, it was like completely sudden. Like um, one day he was fine. He was playing. We let him outside with us for a little bit. He had a good time. The next morning we woke up, he was walking all hunched over and weird. And so I called a vet and unfortunately wasn't even able to get him in until the next afternoon. And we took him in, and evidently what the problem was is that he had a urethral block, and the poor guy couldn't pee. And so they had to catheterize him, and they kept him for a whole weekend. And we brought him home. They had some meds for him and whatnot, and he still couldn't go. And at that point, it wasn't that he was blocked; it's that the urethral muscles just clamped down. And I mean, he was on two different muscle relaxers, and he was on a medication that caused the bladder to contract so that it would help him go, and it wasn't doing anything. And we had to take him in. He was catheterized again for 2 days, and we had an emergency where he couldn't go, and the only place that was open was St. Francis. And I will say this immediately: if you have a pet that needs to go to a vet, don't take them to St. Francis.
oh, really?
Absolutely avoid St. Francis like the plague. They're basically, it boiled down to the doctor being like, oh well, there's a couple different ways that we could do this. And my wife and I said, well, we can't, we're on limited funds, and if you could just get him by tonight so that we could take him to his regular doctor, who we are already on a payment plan. Oh, he does
Oh,
pay. Your regular doctor does payment plans. Oh, well, I think we're pretty reasonable. And so she puts us on hold and comes back and she's like, well, we could keep him in the hospital for 2 days and do another flush out of his bladder and catheterize him, and that would come to $2,500. And the previous his regular doctor only charged us like 841. So I'm like, reasonable? What the fuck are you talking about? And so then she goes, or, and I really recommend this because it would be cheaper. I recommend just removing the penis entirely and just connecting directly to the bladder so that he doesn't have this problem. And
yeah, make
that would
it
only be,
incontinent. Yeah.
yeah, and that would only be $1,800. But I performed this procedure on another cat, and he's living a wonderful life. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about another cat. And I think you're selling me a bill of goods. That doesn't sound right. I mean, what about the risk of infection? What about the fact that he's incontinent? What about all these other issues? So finally she goes, oh, well, if you can't afford that, and she made it sound like, oh, you don't have $3,000 cash on hand that you can just, dole out for your pet. Why do you even own pets? That kind of attitude. And so then she goes, well, you could apply for Care Credit, this credit card, and I've seen people that have credit scores as low as 200 get accepted for it, and I'm like, yeah, BS. So my wife and I both applied. We were both declined. And so she was left with nothing else other than to do what I had originally requested her to do an hour and a half ago. And, meanwhile, the cat is sitting there in agony because he can't pee and his bladder's full. And she's been giving us the runaround this hour and a half. And so finally she's like, it basically boiled down to, well, how much money do you have? Is more or less how she asked. She's like, we could go ahead and I could go ahead and go in externally with a syringe and remove and empty his bladder that way, and we could do that for $201.02. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And then I will take him to his regular doctor where we have a payment plan in the morning that I asked you to do an hour ago. Yeah, it was a freaking nightmare. And then after all of this, and he just didn't bounce back, and then it started to get to the point where his breathing was labored, and it was obvious that he was sick. I mean, he just wanted to be held like a sick baby all the time, and with the labored breathing, one option was to take him to Dove Lewis and have them do an ultrasound to see if there was another issue. But that in and of itself was going to be another $450, and it didn't alleviate the problem. It just told us that there was another issue. So,
this is awful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that was kind of what my comment was. I was like, I don't think that anybody that has to go to the doctor with a urinary infection or a bladder obstruction or anything like that, it should never be a death sentence. I don't care what species you are. That's just absurd. In 2020, there's no reason that should have killed him. But
is this the St. Francis that's in Vancouver? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that never, ever, ever again. I wouldn't take a rabid rat that I found on my back porch there. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's excellent to know because, never taken our cat there, ever.
Yeah, don't.
We've gone to the one in Gresham.
Gresham Animal Hospital?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
That's where his regular vet is, and Dr. Catherine at Gresham Animal Hospital is absolutely fantastic. Love her.
It isn't 24/7 though.
No, it's not. No. Oh, that was the other thing that St. Francis said. She's like, well, if you leave him here with us, you can leave him here over the weekend, and we're open 24 hours a day, and so somebody will always be here with him. So then she puts us on hold, and the ad that comes up on the hold message is, note to our patients, coming May 1st, St. Francis will no longer be open 24 hours a day. We'll only be open Monday through Friday from the hours of 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I'm like, so this whole thing that she was just trying to sell us on, she sounded like a used car salesman. It was terrible. It was awful. So, yeah, don't ever go to St. Francis is the lesson that I learned.
Yeah. Dang, that's just some sick crap there.
Yeah. So unfortunately, he didn't make it, and yeah.
How old was he?
He was only 14. I mean, that's on the upper end for cats, but I honestly, with the exception of one other cat, all of my other cats have lived to be 18 to 20.
Well, yeah, and if you don't have medical issues, then so what?
Right. Well, see, and that was the thing that she brought, that our regular doctor had brought up too. She said, putting him down was probably the best idea because the reality is that there was probably some other issue. He's never, the only time that he ever had to go to the vet was when we had him fixed. And so he's never been sick. And then all of a sudden, overnight, this develops. She thinks that there was probably cancer or something.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I mean, we've been kind of walking around in a daze, but in order to get my mind off of it, I threw myself into this, and so it gave me something to think about.
Well, and then I come and ask you about it.
No, it's okay. If you'd asked me about it yesterday, I probably would have lost it and broken down, but I mean, it still hurts, but I'm getting better.
Well,
at least I can control it.
Sorry to hear that. That's terrible.
Well, thank you. So Dank M, can you click on your little gearbox icon in the upper right corner and change your display name to Mittens? I'm assuming you're playing Mittens, right? That way our viewers can tell who's who. And so I will go into our spiel. Welcome to Going Gaming's Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We are going to be picking up directly where we left off last week, more or less. And we are a gaming group that plays at a shop called Going Gaming and the Grub and Hub, or excuse me, the Grub and Grog, in Troutdale, Oregon. And because of the pandemic going on, we've had to move our operations online because everything is shut down. Going Gaming is a small business, and there's a lot of small businesses that are not going to survive this pandemic because of this lockdown. And so we have tried to alleviate some of that by creating a GoFundMe page. If you could donate anything, even the smallest amount will help. If you scroll down in your Twitch screen, you will see a link to Help Save Going Gaming. Just go ahead and click on that. Every donation is appreciated, and I personally will thank each and every one of you. We also have a couple of friends that have allowed us to advertise for them. There is Talon and Claw, makers of beautiful wooden Dungeon Master screens and dice trays. They do wood and leather, and they have now started a line of wooden dice as well. And this is an example of one of their leather dice trays. It is heavy leather. It is stamped with the Talon and Claw logo. I love it. I also ordered a red oak dice vault from them. Right now, they have a sale going on for their dice vaults that you can get them for $25. So click that link and go get yourself some gear. The other partner we have is the Gilded Archive. She does leather work. She makes leather sheaths, covers for the core rule books. They're all handmade and hand painted and hand stitched. She does amazing work. The other thing that she makes are these polyhedral dice bracelets out of leather, and the most popular one right now is the rainbow, where each dice is a different color. But there's also a new set that she's come out with, doing some work with metallic paints that look absolutely fabulous. Go ahead and check her out. So, back to our game. Where we left off, you guys had finished doing some stuff back at the Troll Skull Manor Tavern in the North Ward of Waterdeep, and you have made your way back down to continue your quest. You are going to the 4th level of the of Undermountain, and the 4th level is known as the Twisted Caverns, and you are searching for a couple of dwarves that stole a Dagger of Blindsight from the blind hobgoblin Azerok and his wife Lurkhana. And so you use the portals that you've located and fast track your way back down. Now the passage down to level 4 actually is in the Azerok Legion domain, so you didn't have to really do anything to find it. They just go, oh, you want to go downstairs? Fine, here you go. And they take you to the passage, and you come down these stairs. I will allow you guys to move where you want to go. I suppose I should open up some of the map for you, huh?
Yeah, I don't see anywhere to go. I need to adjust my dart.
So there should be some more space for you to go to now. So can you see where it says the number 1 on the map?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm at, let's see, am I? Yes, I see everybody here, but I only see black on my screen.
Look in the upper left corner, do you see a part of the map white?
Upper left corner?
Yeah, if you scroll your map all the way to the left and all the way to the top. You might have to zoom out a little bit too.
Let's see.
A lot of the map right
Oh,
now.
there we go. Oh, there we go. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a new map, so a lot of it's going to be black.
Like the envoy type thing.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Alright.
I was lost in the darkness. Typical for me.
So far wants to roll a stealth check.
Okay, go ahead and make your stealth check.
How unexpected.
I know, right?
24.
Wow. Okay. So, are you guys moving into the cavern where it says number 1?
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you move into this cavern. Mossy paths run between patches of stout trillimac and a forest of towering zirkwood whose caps scrape the 40-foot-high ceiling. Throughout the cavern are small clearings where the fungi have been torn out of the mossy ground. Who wants to be the tracker, or does everybody want to make a survival check?
I can be the tracker. I have proficiency in that.
Okay.
Give me a second while I get the dice from Brady.
Jeez, Brady. Hogging the dice.
Oh, jeez.
So I decided to switch my dice up, and I'm using the dice that...
20.
Oh, yeah, you get it. But I'm using the dice that my wife got me for my birthday a couple of years ago. And just to test it out, my new Talon and Claw dice tray, I rolled it, and I got 3 nat 20s out of 5 rolls. And I told her that, and she immediately said, okay, you're not allowed to use those dice anymore?
Yeah.
Those are player dice.
Yes, right? So on your nat 20, you find several large bare footprints that travel to the west towards this cavern over here. Sorry, I was on the wrong function. So over to this section of the cavern, you track these large footprints. And when I say large, I mean they're large.
Cave bear.
They're like sass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they have 5 toes, the whole bit, but they're like Sasquatch size.
So they're like humanoid feet.
Yes, but really big.
Looks like there's something quite large there.
I was about to just say that these footprints are like 2 feet wide, and that just sounds ridiculous. So
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking it was BEAR prints.
Nope,
basically, yes, it is. Whoever made these prints is not wearing shoes.
Discalced.
I'm gonna move everybody in here.
Just some bare feet.
There we go. Now we are all together.
So Flavius notices the tracker looking at something and says, "What is it you see?"
Feet.
Well,
Feet
assume that's what's on the ground. What type?
Humanoid.
So Thrick, go ahead and make a nature check. Actually,
Alright.
so I'm assuming that Thrick is probably pointing out these tracks. Anybody who is proficient in nature can go ahead and make the nature check.
Don't roll that on wood, Colby.
Oh, not 20.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. So
Those are player dice.
yeah. So you check out these you check out these tracks, and you determine that these tracks were made by an Eaton.
Something was eaten?
Yeah.
New.
We'll get eaten by an
So, you know that Eatons are considered giants, They are large,
Oh,
as their particular size category. They are large, and you know that they have two heads, and those two heads usually bicker and argue with one another.
so.
Well, gang,
Oh, right.
this doesn't seem to be what we're chasing after. And I don't know that we're going to get any really cool loot from an eaten. We might get eaten. So let's leave the eaten alone. See, use your tracking skills again and see if you can track people instead of giants.
All right. Can I track and see if there are any human-sized footprints?
Sure. Hold on just a second here.
Flavia says, you guys don't want to check out the Eden?
Heck no. Knowing where it is means we can avoid getting squished. I'm not your typical suicidal adventurer.
Oh,
So suddenly out of the passage to the west comes this two-headed Eaton, and but instead of the two heads arguing with one another, they appear to be having a casual conversation about hearing voices out in the cavern, and the Eaton comes out and he said, and the one of the heads says, "Well, who you?"
Oh crap. We are adventurers from Waterdeep, chasing after a couple of miscreants, bad guys.
We no see nothing like that. My name Gibber, and this head named Jabber.
Gibber jabber.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Gibber and Jabber. You know, I think you may be the first Eaton I've ever met, and you're not quite meeting the stereotype that I had of you.
Well, not all of us bad. We just want to be left alone.
Ah, well, we don't seek to annoy you or bother you, so is this your area of the caverns?
We live here. We have neighbors. If you're looking for something, you might want to talk to the alchemist.
Well, thank you. Yes, we're looking for two people our size, and you haven't seen any others, particularly two that are our size, come by your way, have you?
No, only know about new neighbors. Spider people.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Driders? That's what we call them.
No, they your size. They have dark skin, white hair.
Ah,
He says, you'll want to be careful going south. Stinky fish people live there, and stinky lizards.
oh, okay. So we've got stinky fish people and stinky lizards to the south. You have spider people. Are they to the east?
Yes.
Okay. And where's the alchemist that you mentioned?
Go to east the next cavern, and then go north.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Well, then I think we'll take your advice and go ask the alchemist if he has met any travelers that are our size coming through here.
Alchemist, very knowledgeable. He help.
Well, thank you again. Is there anything we can do to show our appreciation other than leave you alone?
Jibber Jabber just holds out their right hand and pokes into the palm.
Do you use gold?
Yes.
All right. I'll give him 10 gold pieces.
He takes your 10 gold and says, Be careful in your journeys, and turns around and walks back into his cavern.
Okay, I wiped the sweat off of my forehead. and,
Worse?
and I motioned everybody with my arms waving to the east. Let's get the heck out of here.
Lady says, that was Eden? Disappointed.
Thought it'd be bigger.
So you're moving through this passage to the east?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to do stealth too, using my cool character sheet that I filled out. Because I don't want to run into another one of those horrible things.
You said the alchemist is east and Hager, correct?
So the alchemist was east and then to the north. Hold on, I will be right back.
And we have Driders to the east. That's what it sounds like.
Sounds like we got some Murlocs or something to the south.
Yes.
Tritons, maybe.
They're Kuratula, but it's Murlocs. They're totally Murlocs.
Yeah, and then lizard folk maybe, or...
Yeah, lizard folk to the south.
I think it's better here in the middle with you. Probably Drow.
Right. I think they're called Driders because they're failed drow, and they become half spider, half human.
Yeah, but even the regular Drow have like a spider motif to them.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that it was half spider, half person. Okay. They're worshippers of Loth are going to be spider-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
Either way, they're gonna die.
We shall squish them.
So how do you adjust your picture in the avatar?
You have to go to your Roll20 account,
Oh, okay.
and there's a profile, and you can upload a picture.
Right. Yeah, when you asked that, I was like, how did I do that? I've learned so much about Roll20 in the past week that some of the stuff I figured out early on, I've now forgotten.
Yeah. Who knew? I didn't think I would become this intimate with the online character sheet and playing.
I know, right? Yeah, I will be honest. My previous forays into Roll20, I hated it. But it is it was a necessity. So I've spent a lot of time learning it, and now I kind of dig it. I like it. I actually used my I have dungeon tiles, and so I created a custom map and then stood over it with my Note 10 and took the picture and uploaded that as the custom map for one of my other groups.
I think in a pinch you could probably do with just a webcam. Set up a table and put a map and some figures down, and
Yeah, probably could. Yeah, or even just leave the map white and just draw the lines. But I don't know. This looks fancier. So you guys, you what?
So they have a drawing tool up there, it looks like.
Yes, yeah. So you guys move into Canyon 3.
we see amoebas. I can see the nucleus and the strange cell body.
Yeah. So gardens of Barrelstock, Bluecap, Tamask, and Trillimac fill the cavern. Between the garden patches meander paths that lead to and from various exits. No, that's not very good. So you look up at the ceiling. Bum, 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 bum. Let me See if I can do this in a mass group. I can.
Oh, crud.
And there are a bunch of piercers clinging to the ceiling. Piercers are these little larvae that like to cling to ceilings of caverns and large subterranean passages. Usually they blend in better than that, but they only rolled a 4 for their stealth check. They are, you know that they are the larval form of, or you've heard rumors that piercers are the larval form of a roper. And these guys are little pains in the butt, and everybody needs to roll initiative.
They're the larval form of what?
A roper?
It's a roper.
So a roper...
He was the business manager for Three's Company.
A roper is a creature that resembles a stalagmite or a stalactite, but it has tendrils that shoot out of it and will grab you and try to pull you into it and eat you. They are really slow moving, but the benefit of, and they're tough to kill, but the benefit of killing a roper is that when you do so, they usually have a whole lot of treasure and gems and whatnot buried in their gullet.
Let's fuck them up.
We should let them grow so that we can harvest them after they get all sorts of gems and things.
Just save one and like take it back to the troll skull manor.
Oh, yeah. Put it over one particular chair that sits around the table where the bearded devil plays. That's the risky table.
Yeah, the high stakes table, literally.
Is the piercer hungry or is it full?
Well, I guess the benefit to gambling with souls is that people don't have the option not to pay up.
That's true.
So you don't need to go breaking any kneecaps or anything, you know.
Yeah, sooner or later you're pretty much gonna be forced to pay up.
Would you ever tell me what our devil friend's name was?
I think we just went with Bob. Bob the Bearded Devil.
Bob the Bearded
Of course, that's not his real name, but
You probably won't be able to pronounce his real name, right?
probably not. And that reminds me, you need to have your blessing.
This is true.
You gain a blessing of understanding for this week's game. Your wisdom score increases by 2 to a maximum of 22.
Not even close.
All right, so Flavius, did you get an 18?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Thrick, what'd you get?
19.
Hold on here. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
They can't hide worth a darn, but they sure are quick.
All right, Aaron, what'd you get?
8.
Wow. I got a rock. Telfar.
9.
Wow, you guys.
Man, you're always outdoing me.
Norte. I'm sorry? I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Let me go check his Discord.
Yeah, it seemed like it clipped there for a second, and then all of a sudden he went out. 15. Jeez, DM, why weren't you on the right chat screen? Shh, you suck. And and Mittens.
8.
Wow, you guys with the 8s. So, between Aaron and Mittens, which one of you wants to go first? Keep in mind, Mittens is a mobile artillery cannon.
Let's see, I'll roll a die, and if it's odd, I'll go first. And if it's even...
I'll go first and screw up his AoEs.
Me first.
Alright. So, Thrick, what would you like to do? So the ceiling here, I guess that would probably help you, wouldn't it? The ceiling here is... Oddly enough, they don't want to tell me.
Oh, so they're all on the ceiling right now?
Yeah, they're all hanging down from the ceiling. We're going to say that the ceiling is 15 feet.
Alright. Basically pretend like they're stalactites.
Yeah, basically.
They'll like come down on you.
Yeah, they're medium sized, so from 15 feet, their head's like curling down, and you should be able to bop it.
Alright, so I'm just gonna...
Oh.
I'm just gonna move to like the southern two.
Okay, go for it.
And then cast Toll the Dead on them.
Okay. Go ahead and, so they get, what, a wisdom save?
Wisdom, yeah.
Ugh. Nope, they got a 3.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to eat all kinds of shit.
They're only taking 11 damage.
Only?
Yeah.
They're babies. How can you be so cruel?
Has Star Wars not taught you anything?
So you immediately notice that with the Toll the Dead, these two are excuse me, is Toll the Dead necrotic damage or?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So you see these guys just shriveled, and they're not dead, but they are clearly in distress. They are. If we were playing 4th edition, they would be what is called bloodied.
Yeah. Okay. Testing?
Yep.
Testing? Yep.
It'll work right up until she leaves the room.
Okay.
That's the way it always works. See, what you need, if your car won't start, what you need to do is get out of the car and get back into the car and then try to start it. Flavius, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and swing my sword at this one right in front of me.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, actually, yeah, I'll just do that one range first. Alright. 20 to hit?
Yeah, that smacks him good.
So 11 damage, and then actually die 4 to that, so 11, 14 damage.
Ouch. So this guy just, you slice right through him. He is kaput. So, hello Andre. I see that you joined our channel and you are watching our stream. So do you have another attack, Flavius? Because you could move and then make your second attack.
I forgot about that. It's been a while since I've actually played.
Yeah, I really like the movement rules in 5th edition. It really opened it up in that you can move before, during, or after your attack. So,
is there one on me too? I didn't know that.
Oh, I guess there was. You were covering him up.
I'll swing at that one as well.
All right.
You can even split up your attacks too. It's wonderful.
I'm gonna move you just a little bit to the left so that I can click this guy.
So that's 18 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
And 14 damage again.
Ouch. So you don't kill this guy, but he is not looking so healthy. So is that all of your attacks?
Yes, it is.
All right. So hold on here. Let me do a double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, this guy didn't get added. All right. So this piercer is going to attack Mittens.
Ow.
I'm sorry, there's a bit of a limitation with the thing. I don't know exactly which piercer you're talking about. I have Sentinels, so if it's one that's within...
It would be this guy right here.
Okay,
Yeah, he's attacking Mittens. And he, I'm sure, is going to miss with a 9. So this piercer goes to drop on Mittens, and it goes and hits the ground. Right at your feet, right in front of you.
At this rate, I didn't even notice it until it did that.
Right? Yeah.
Like, oh, hi.
Little maggots for me.
This piercer is going to attempt to drop on Flavius. Wow, what is with these guys? And he got a 12. So I imagine he misses you, is that correct?
Let me look at that. Yeah, 16 is my armor class.
Okay. This piercer is going to attack Aaron.
That's inconsiderate.
Oh, man. Yeah, tell me about it. He misses with a 7 and goes and lands on the cave floor in front of you. These guys are sucking it up. This piercer is going to attack Norate. Oh my god, he rolls an 8 and misses and lands on the floor in front of Norate. This piercer is also going to attack Norate. And miss with an 11 and land on the floor at your feet.
Okay. Very exposed. Fall off the ceiling attack or what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they literally fall off the ceiling and they do 1d6 per 10-foot drop. So these guys are only going to do 1d6 damage each. But they can't even do that. I mean, these are like the Paul Blart Mall Cop monsters of Undermountain.
They're trying to move into that 40-foot high area where the Eaton
Yeah.
was.
14 to hit Aaron.
No, not unless I discount my dex.
If I cripple myself, he might be able to hit me.
Well, they used to have flat-footed rules.
Yeah, true. And last but not least, this one is going to, again, try to attack Flavius. And miss with a 14. So all of them are on the ground. And that means...
They can't attack us now. We can just walk away.
yeah, right? I mean...
Piercer looks like.
Yeah, more or less.
But they have eyes.
Yeah, they're a little grosser now. They're like that.
Maggots.
Yep. They're roper maggots.
Yeah.
Norate.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
This game is advanced. Norate, you've got 2 on you, and it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, I am going to attack with Bleeder. My great axe.
All right.
me my real list. Nope. Nope.
So you go to swing with Bleeder, and you. What's your strength modifier?
+3.
Okay, so you go to swing at this you swing at this one, and you trip on this one, and you step on him and do 3 points of damage to him, and fall prone.
Liam, or Norate, there's some math doesn't look right. You're doing 1d20 plus 2. You should have plus, I think, 3 for proficiency, and then plus something for your...
I know, I chose a -5 to the attack roll to add +10 damage, but it still didn't work out.
Yeah.
It's usually +7. But...
So you just wanted to splatter them all over your allies. Because you would have killed it even if you hadn't added the 10.
So does an 18 hit your AC, Norate? Yeah.
No.
Okay. So when you step on one and just kind of go and slip off of him, and you fall prone, and both of them make reaction attacks and try to attack you, and both of them fail miserably. But now you've got maggots on you.
I've got maggots climbing on me.
Oh, nasty.
Telfar, what would you like to do?
My 24 stealth check kept me unseen.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. Let me... Yeah, their passive perception is 8. So, yeah. You don't exist. They don't even smell you.
There is one adjacent to Aaron and I that I will...
So you're talking about this guy right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. You will get sneak attack, and you have advantage.
Am I too close, though, to shoot? Would it have to be a melee weapon?
You are within 5 feet, so yeah, that would cancel your advantage. It would be better if you went with a melee weapon. Whoops.
Fair enough. I've got... that sunblade sitting around in my belt somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. Whip that bad boy out.
Good luck stealthing with that.
Right? Yeah, now the entire cavern is filled with bright sunlight in a 20-foot radius.
But they don't know.
They find invisible light that is a dark cave.
It's a floating lightsaber. You can't see who's holding it.
Right?
Well, you know, it's illuminated in front, right? Anyways, yeah, I'll stab it.
Go for it.
Flaming sunblade stabby sword.
So the sunblade, is that a +3 weapon?
+2.
+2.
Do I use my dexterity or strength bonus?
It would count as a long sword, or actually, in your case, it would count as a short sword. So, yeah, you could use dex because that would be a finesse weapon.
Sweet.
I would hope that anything that is a lightsaber would be considered a finesse weapon. I mean, if you're swinging a lightsaber using your strength score, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
The sunblade's a finesse.
24? Yeah, you hit him. Yeah. Yeah, you drill him right in the face.
Oh, if it was a real sunlight, it'd probably be really heavy.
Yeah.
All it says for the sunblade is melee weapon, and the properties are finesse and versatile.
Ah, nice. Thank you.
How much damage does it do?
It
I know it does radiant damage and extra damage to undead, but I don't know what the base damage is.
it does. I want to say 1d8 radiant.
1d10.
Oh, is it 1d10?
But if it's versatile, it's 1 or 2 handed, right?
Versatile is 1 or 2-handed, and finesse is either dex or strength modifier.
Oh, it just deals radiant instead of slashing.
Right.
And if it's undead, it deals an extra D8.
A D10 is what I'm hearing.
It's
Yeah, they're
1d8.
not using anything else with it. Since she two-handed, I bet.
Yeah, if you went 2-handed with it, you would do 1d10 damage.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out what size it is for a halfling. Is a halfling gonna have to two-hand it? Or
No,
what?
it's fine. It works. It will work if you want to use it as a short sword, you could. But
Yeah.
so it would do 1d6 damage, radiant damage,
Alright.
plus your sneak attack, and it's a +2 weapon.
Alright. Good. Oh, bollocks to that. 9 and 15 damage.
Ouch. She says bollocks to that, and then like just basically neuters the piercer. It's not dead, but it's not going to turn into a roper.
And then I will sheath it and attempt to rehide.
Okay.
And that's a 25.
Nice. So yeah, you are in.
invisible.
So basically what you guys see is out of the darkness of this cavern and what little light sources that you're using, you just see out of the darkness this sword appear of radiant sunlight. She stabs this piercer, and then the sword retracts again back into darkness, and she's gone.
Yes! Yes!
Aaron, what would you like to do? Mr. Carl
I'll
B.
roll and describe what happens here. Here's my roll. Okay. And
So are you attacking the same one that she just attacked?
I'm attacking the one to the east of me.
Yep, that's the one she just hit.
Okay. And so there's the attack roll, and the damage
That hits.
shows that, and I don't think I need to add in sneak damage.
No, you killed him.
Probably already dead. Now, that's not actually what happened.
Okay.
What happened was I looked down on the ground and drew my sword, but then Peck, the black chicken, descended upon it in fury and started just eating the snot out of the thing and swallowed it whole.
Nice.
And then I am going to move back into that little corner right there.
I mean, after all, it is just a worm.
Yeah. And for my move, I move my little character 5 feet over there into the corner.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And the chicken's just sitting there disgustedly slurping up the remains of the larva.
That chicken's got a tough beak. Yeah, you can hear the chicken chewing on this thing, and it sounds like somebody is chewing on gravel.
He's got adamantium rocks in his teeth.
That chicken is crazy.
Mittens, what would you like to do?
Let's see. I am simply going to twin cast Shocking Grasp on those two.
Go for it.
Kind of T-pose and Shocking Grasp them.
Sure.
I assume at least a 23 hits.
Yes.
Alright, the other one is 25, so.
Yes. How much did you do with the first one?
Eight. 15 for the first one.
Okay.
18 to the second one.
All right. They are not dead. But all the hair on their, if they have hair, is all sticking straight out. So, yeah, they can't really do much. So, all right. We're to Thrick.
So can I like move through the space Claudius is in?
Yeah, you can move through friendly spaces.
Alright. I'm just gonna move right there and use Toll the Dead on the one to my left.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's gonna try and make a wisdom save. Ooh. 17.
Ooh, that passes barely.
Woohoo! So he still takes half damage though, right?
No, he takes none.
Oh.
It's just a cantrip, so.
Well, yeah, but he's already below his maximum.
No, it's just like.
If it's taking damage, it's 1d12.
Oh, okay.
Opposed to the D8.
All right.
So yeah, just take none.
So did you have anything else?
No.
All right. Flavius.
You said he has to go AFK for a second.
Okay. Well, while he's away, anybody who's watching, I think that's just you at the moment, Andre. We have a GoFundMe to help save the Goin' Gaming shop in Troutdale, Oregon. They are a small business trying to get by during this tough time with the pandemic. So we created the GoFundMe to try and alleviate some of that distress on them. Any little bit helps. I know that everybody is hurting themselves, so even $1 or $2 is a good thing. And then we also have a couple of friends down there, Talon and Claw, purveyors of making beautiful wooden Dungeon Master screens and dice trays, and now they have leather dice trays and dice vaults. Right now they have a sale going on to get dice vaults for $25. I ordered a red oak. They are beautiful. And then the other one is the Gilded Archive. She makes leather covers for the core rule books, and she does all of her work by hand stitching, hand painting, the whole 9 yards. And she also makes these really cool leather bracelets that depict the dice on them. And one of the more popular ones is the rainbow one, where every dice is a different color. So you might want to check them out. Is Flavius back?
Looks like it.
Let's go ahead and we'll keep things moving along and we can come back to Flavius. So, the piercers, what are the piercers going to do? This piercer is going to start to climb up the wall using its spider climb ability. And he's going to dash for a whole whopping 10 feet up the wall. This piercer is going to use the disengage action and do the same thing. Except he's only going to go 5 feet up the wall. This piercer is also going to disengage and go 5 feet up the wall. And both of these piercers, so they are both going to disengage. This piercer is going to go 5 feet up the wall, and this piercer is going to go 5 feet to the wall, but he's still on the floor. And last but not least, this piercer will disengage and go up the wall 5 feet. Norte, what would you like to do?
Okay. So I have to use my move action to get back up, right?
You would have to expend half your movement to stand up.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
All right.
And so have all of them disengaged?
Yes. They're all trying to climb back up the wall so that they can then make an attack.
With their 5 movement speed.
Yes. Hey, 10 with dash.
Oh no. That's
I have no
So
way-
this one here is like right next to you, and he's only 5 feet up the wall. You could,
Is he within reach?
you could hit him with a rolled up newspaper. Yeah, yeah. You could take a 5-foot step and smash him.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. And with a... That's 18
Yep,
to hit
that hit. That hits
with
him.
my inflict moves.
Oh yeah, you got him.
Okay. I'm
Ugh.
gonna
Reach
do
out and
that
stroke the
for
slug.
14 damage.
Ow. Believe it or not,
Third level spell.
he's not dead. But you grab this thing and it just shrinks and withers and it lets out a little squeal. There's not much life left to him.
Okay.
Telfar, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I think Liam's got a minion, right?
Oh, he does have a minion. That's right.
Yeah. I'm going to have them cast Witch Bolt.
Hold on, I'm going to put a marker on you so that I remember that you have a minion.
Who's got 3 zombies?
Yep. That's a good one. He looks like something that
You guys, I'm sorry, I'm back. I had to step away for a minute.
no problem. Hold on just a second. We will run your turn. So Norte.
Got 15.
Yeah, that hits.
Take a 12. And 6 damage.
Yep. Your minion puts him down. All right, so Flavius, what would you like to do?
I will attack the one right next to me.
Okay, so that one?
Yes. And I roll a 26 to hit.
Wow, yeah, you smack him good.
Alright.
Smack him well?
17 points of damage.
Ah, you put him down. He slops off the wall.
Okay, and I got Great Master, so does that use your reaction or a bonus action?
To do what now?
Great Master, if you put down an enemy, or is it just critical?
It gives you another attack.
Gives you another attack.
As a bonus action.
It,
Yeah, if you put an enemy down or if you score a critical hit, it gives you another attack as a bonus action.
Okay. I will get the other one right below and next to me.
That one?
Yeah.
Yep, go for it.
As well. 16 to hit.
That hits.
Alright. Much more damage though, or more damage at least. Almost max. 11, 15, and 5, so 20. 20 damage.
Yeah, so you hit this guy and he literally you hear the clang of your weapon against the stone and he goes pop and just explodes piercer guts all over the room.
Oh great. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you want to move?
Sure. I will move over here.
Just so you guys know, if you look over on the little toolbar on the left-hand side, there is a, let me find it here.
A cursor arrow?
Yes, there was a cursor arrow. Now watch, I'm not going to be able to find it. Which one is it? Nope, that's not it. thought it was this one. Yes. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth box down from the top. When you go over it, you'll see snap to center, snap to corner, and no snap. If you select no snap, it will make a ruler, and you can click on your token and drag it, and it'll tell you how many feet away that is.
And where is that?
It's the sixth box down on your toolbar on the left.
The question mark?
It should look like a circle with a little ruler sticking out, an upside down Q.
Looks like a cone to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
I see.
If you click on that and select no snapping, you can click on your token and drag, and it'll show how many feet it is if you want to measure out. Since because I'm not an expert at making these maps, a lot of cases is that the maps don't match the grid underneath. So what we were doing last Saturday's game is just using this to measure out how far somebody can run. And I'm not going to get into oh well, can you run through walls? Guesstimate it. I mean, if you can if you can estimate how many feet away it is, that's good enough for me.
Well, it looks like it's about 15 feet, so I should be able to make it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yep. And that's where I go to.
The only thing to remember is when you select the ruler, don't forget to select your cursor icon again, or else you can't move anything.
Oh.
There you go. All right, so Telfar, what would you like to do?
I want to shoot at the northeastern one, the one in the middle.
This guy?
Yep.
All right, go for it.
Can I ping things? How do I ping things?
If you have your cursor on, you can, if you click and hold your left mouse button over wherever you want on the map, you can ping that location.
Got it.
And the ping color will be the color of the box at the bottom of your character icon on the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. Well, I'm going to shoot at it.
Go for it.
I'm going to use a luck point on that one. Wow, you got me in there. 20.
Nice! All applicable damage is doubled.
Sweet. On my sneak attack.
Yeah, this is going to be brutal.
I love it. $38.
Wow! He had 7 hit points.
Yeah, it's overkill, but fun.
So he basically explodes, and there are piercer guts all over the cavern.
Hooray!
And then, did you want to stealth again?
Absolutely.
All right.
For 22.
All right. Aaron, Mr. Curl B.
Well, I look at this lame thing laying on the floor like a slug that can hardly move and has no offensive capability whatsoever that I can see. I mean, we've been fighting them for a while, and they just sort of lay there.
They lay there like a slug.
And so I put my foot on it and kind of press down on it and notice nothing, doesn't really react much to it. So I fumble through and try to find a sack and pick one up and shove it in a sack.
Okay, so go ahead and make a grapple. That is a strength athletics check, opposed strength athletics check.
All right.
And he got an 8. I'm assuming it's a he.
Oh,
I don't know.
I couldn't grab him.
Wow, really? All right, so he slips right out of your hands, and he makes a little squealing sound.
Okay. That's my round.
Okay. Mittens, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna firebolt that one.
You need
Go
to
for it.
keep one.
Yeah.
So we can raise it
The one Aaron's with.
Yeah, because
I'll chase it around like a greased pig.
We're gonna do-
hit size too.
Yes, we're gonna do non-lethal damage so that we can interrogate the piercer.
Yeah, don't worry, non-lethal fireball.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if I can sell one.
16.
16 damage. Yeah, he's still with us.
Into some like lord's house you don't like.
Yeah, put it in his wine cellar. Let it mature.
There's bound to be some performance artists out there that would want to buy it to use it for some reason.
Mittens, is there anything else you wanted to do?
No, that's it.
Alright.
So,
Okay. And Thrick.
So after I turn around, or after the guy to my left is dead, I'm gonna turn around and see what Aaron's gonna try and do.
Right.
Like trying to shove him in the bag.
And feel free to try to do it yourself.
Yeah, and then I come over and try to shove it into the bag.
Okay.
I've got the sack out. All you have to do is pick it up, stick it in there.
So grapple.
Yep, he got a 16.
Oh, soft 20.
Yeah, you get this guy and you stuff him in the bag.
One more.
He could die. We already have one.
He can die.
How can we breed more?
And I can
We need to find a piercer sexer that can tell us so we make sure we have a male and a female.
Alright, that's gonna be all I'm gonna do.
Alright. Flavius.
Alright, I'm going to charge over this one and cut it in two.
Go for it.
I need that one. Just kidding.
15 to hit.
That hits.
15 damage.
Yep, he's put down. Alright. So you guys, you can see that there is a passage out of here to the south, there's a passage to the north, and then there is a further passage to the east.
So we need to head to the north, right? Or he doesn't say how far to the east we have to head.
Yeah, he didn't say, he just said take the passage to the east and then head north.
Well, it seems pretty obvious.
Yeah.
There's a passage to the north.
Yeah, I guess might as well just head up.
Alright.
What are they even trying to call me?
It's dark. I can't see anything.
just suddenly hit an invisible wall.
Oh, I found a light switch. Here's the light switch, guys.
Starts swearing at the game, guys.
And there's a dude in there.
So you guys come into this this cavern, and there is a you see that the walls are set with shelves at varying heights. They hold numerous gourds, most of which seem to contain failed alchemical elixirs. There's smoke coming out of like from around corks that have been stuffed into these hollowed out gourds, and there's grease that has overflowed and come out of one. Lord only knows why he's keeping them. A rough-hewn block of stone in the middle of the cave serves as a table. It is covered with a set of alchemist supplies. And there is this younger man wearing perfectly round spectacles, and he's leaned over the table and he's sitting there mixing different chemical agents together on this table. And he looks up and he says, "Who are you?" Why are you in my chamber?
Who are you?
We
He says, I'm the alchemist. Again, who are you?
But I'm the alchemist.
Jibber and Jabber have said that you're a smart man, and we have come from Waterdeep seeking a couple of ne'er-do-wells that traveled this way recently, and we're wondering if perhaps you had run into a couple of these guys.
Make a charisma check.
Oh, I suck. Let's see. Charisma. Oh! Wait, that was a save. Subtract the... No, I don't get any bonuses, so that's it. Oh, it added 3. My charisma should have only added 2, so...
He says, no, nobody's come through. Is there something else I can help you with?
Well, we do have business interests up on the surface. What is there anything what do you do here? Why are you down here in this
He goes,
cave?
now that I think about it, there might be something that you can help me with. I would be glad to reward you.
You said the magic words.
What can we do for you?
A green gem was stolen from me that I need in order to complete my alchemical experiments.
Well, we're looking for stolen items as we speak. What can you tell us about this gem and its theft?
Well, it's a perfectly green gem. It almost looks like an emerald, but it's not really an emerald, and it's about the size of my fist. And he holds up his fist.
What is this guy? Is he human or what is his...
Yeah, he is human.
Okay.
He looks like he's probably about 22 or 23. You have no idea why. I mean, he doesn't appear to be shabbily dressed, and he's evidently well equipped down here. Don't know how he got here.
Well, do you have any, do you know where this gem went, or who took it?
He says... He says he's not sure exactly who took the gem from me, but I can tell you that it is somewhere in the Twisted Caverns. That's all I know. I need that gem back in order to complete my experiments. Without it, I just cannot complete my work. But if you were to bring that gem to me, I would make sure that you are wealthy in potions.
Well, could you take us to the scene of the crime? Maybe we could find something there.
Well, they broke into my cavern and they took it. This is the scene of the crime.
Can I, do a survival check to find any footprints?
Sure.
22.
You find a series of footprints that you immediately are able to match to the boots that the alchemist is wearing. All around the cavern, going in and out, but it doesn't seem like he goes very far out of the cavern, and you were able to discern that he goes just far enough outside of the cavern to pick some mushrooms that are quickly nearby to the entrance, and maybe pick some lichen off the wall, or moss, and then goes back inside. You do see that there are the eaten footprints that have come in here. They appear to be older, probably about a week old. And then last but not least, you do see some booted medium humanoid footprints about the same size as you guys that have come into this chamber at one point and left. You can tell that the boot prints are just by the imprint because the floor in here, everything in this area is all, the floor is covered with dead mushrooms. So, as these different species of mushroom grow, parts of them flake off and fall onto the floor. So the entire floor is just coated in this spongy, mushroomy mud stuff. And you can determine just by the outline of these boot prints that these are some high-end, expensive boots.
Looks like some rich person walked through here and took your gem.
Well, that would probably make sense.
Do you know anyone who would want to?
Do you know anyone with fancy boots?
Well, our new neighbors, those filthy drow, they have fancy boots.
And it was probably
When did you notice it was missing?
Oh, probably about a fortnight ago.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Why would they hold on to this gem instead of sell it? Seems like that's been quite a while.
It's greatly valuable to any kind of alchemical or magical endeavor.
Was it like a philosopher's stone?
Yeah, it's something like that. I've heard of that. Yes, it's very similar to something like that.
So we will get right on it, but it doesn't sound like it's like we should be running and chasing this person. They've had plenty of time. So can you tell me more about what kind of potions do you make here? I find this fascinating. I have a skill because I'm an investigator that I can tell when someone's lying, and it's. Let me see if the nice thing about this skill is that if I roll less than an 8, it counts as an 8. So that would be 8 plus 9, it'd be 17 roll.
He says, well, I make all kinds of potions. I can make you superior or greater healing potions. I can make alchemist's fire. I can make acid potions. I can make a poison for you to coat your blades.
That's amazing. So
you are detecting with your skill. It's not that. I mean, he does have alchemical skill, and he is clearly not lying about that. But you detect that there's something that he's not telling you, that he's holding back.
Right. And I don't want to pressure him too much because that might cause a problem. But at the same time, I ask him more about. There are plenty of alchemists up on the surface. Down here. Are you here because you have access to rare ingredients or something, or is there?
Oh yes, I have access to anything I want. All I have to do is step out my door. And plus, I don't usually get interrupted in my work.
Well, hopefully we can apologize for our interruption here by recovering your stone. I'm going to do a perception roll and look around the room and see if there's any potions or things that don't fit with what he's like bubbling black things that have bones in them or something like that.
Yeah, your perception of 14, you notice that there are 2 gourds that have a little bit of liquid that have come out of them, and your perception, you kind of go over and sniff them and make an Arcana check.
Okay. Again, these are my weaknesses, but okay. There we go.
So the first potion that you sniff, and you kind of take some of the liquid off the edge of the bottle, lick it, and you immediately realize that this is a potion of comprehension. When you drink this potion, you gain the effect of a comprehend languages spell for 1 hour. The liquid is clear, with bits of salt and soot swirling in it.
Well, my man, you are amazingly skilled. And I will get out of your hair, but I didn't introduce myself. I'm Aaron and we are, my friends and I are based out of Troll Skull Manor up on the surface of Waterdeep. How may we address you?
Oh, I just go by the alchemist.
Okay. Have you been here long? Did you grow up here? This is such an unusual
Oh,
place.
no. I grew up long, far, far away from here. I came here as a youngster.
Okay, well, I don't want to role play the rest of the night. So, there's something fishy about this guy, and we want to find his stone for him. I don't see poison. Well, I don't see anything that looks like a sphere of element. Was it earth devastation or something horrible like that? Or dead corpses of babies. So we might as well go ahead and do it.
All right. So where do you want to go from here?
Well, the drow are to the east, and we're still seeking those two people that took the dagger.
We might as well check out the drow. They're always suspicious.
Well, I guess before we leave, we could ask the alchemist.
Let's just go kick those dicks' ass.
Yeah, they always deserve it.
Even if they don't, they do.
Right. Yeah, they're drow, right?
We could ask the alchemist, say, well, we talked with the Jibber Jabber, and they said that south of here, to the west and south, what sounded like lizard folk and Kuratoa, Murlocs, down in that area. Can you verify that, or are we interpreting what he said wrong? What do you know about this area?
Yeah, he says, oh, yes. The drow are directly to the east, and if you travel further south, you'll probably run into the Kuatoa. They are crazy little fish people.
Okay. And are they aggressive? We're looking for thieves that wear boots.
He says,
not be Kuatoa.
He says that they have been, the Kuatoa have recently been very agitated. I can tell you that they worship Kuatoa. They worship their own created gods, and they worship a god named.
Don't let it be Surtur.
No, it's not Surtur. It's going to be far more ridiculous than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard their names before.
Yes, the god. I wrote it down in my notebook. The god that they are worshiping is named Bulbaslop.
God.
I hate Kuatoa. Okay.
The only thing crazier than a Kuatoa is a Darrow.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Please, if you find that gem, please bring it back to me.
I disengage. Anybody else that wants to talk, go for it. I'm going to move to the door. To the east.
Ask him, are there lizard folk or troglodytes?
Oh, I've seen several troglodytes to the south. I don't usually travel too far, but the furthest that I've traveled, I have seen a couple of troglodytes on patrol. Stinky creatures.
Stinky trogs.
Good call, Marte. Anybody else?
Nah, Telfar's just been sneaking around in the shadows, observing, taking notes.
Yeah, I didn't even mention.
But we needed.
Narate, make a charisma check. Says, one other piece of information that I can give you that might help you is to beware to not drink any of the water that you find, either in the river or any of the pools that flow through this cavern. It is, for some reason, it is all turned foul.
Many things.
Are agitated.
That's a very good assumption. That is a safe assumption.
Are small people. Fish people. Okay.
So are you guys traveling east from here?
Well, Norte, what do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be quite some drow.
Yeah.
Drow has
Maybe Strider.
All right.
Fist-sized gem for some chemical lunatic.
Who knows what they're gonna do with it?
A dagger for a blind hobgoblin.
All right. I am going to move you to the east.
Flavius wakes up as everybody's leaving, and he was dozing against the wall. Oh. Bored.
I thought gibber and jabber were bad.
Oh.
They're just jabbering.
You know, I vote for Flavius for our next leader.
Hey, Carl, I like listening to you talk to the elements. You do all the question asking.
I'd be happy for you to do it, but you're always invisible, sneaking around. Did you steal anything when we were in there?
That's always good.
Oh, okay.
I
Good.
poke around, most definitely. But, you know.
It's not the same as stealing.
Yeah.
There's the ropers. And ropers are there.
Are those ropers?
They are
Exactly
ropers.
what ropers look like.
Well, they're dead now.
They're smaller than the.
They look like stalactites. There's stalagmites. Pretty sure it's stalagmites.
Yeah, the ropers or stalagmites, they poke up, right? Is that?
Yeah. They
The
poke out of the ground.
stalactites are the, whatever the other thing was.
Technically speaking, ropers can be either or, but these are actually on the ground.
They just
Stalagmites.
So yeah, you guys come into this cavern. There's the ceiling here is 30 feet high, and there is a forest of stalagmites, some of which are broken. You can immediately see two ropers in the stalactites. The floor is uneven, strewn with bits of chewed up armor and bone, as well as the occasional copper or silver piece. Everybody roll initiative. Why am I... No.
Ooh. So that got me 3.
Okay.
You're doing great.
No.
At least you tried.
Okay. So.
So, ropers get 17. Hey, so far my best rolls have been initiative, so maybe I should just save these dice just for initiative. Flavius, what did you get?
19.
Okay. Norte, what'd you get?
3. 3.
Telfar, what'd you get?
10.
Aaron.
12.
Mittens.
11.
And Thrick.
13.
Wow, I think that's the lowest you've rolled in a while.
Yeah.
Flavius, what would you like to do?
No, these are hanging from the ceiling?
No, they are on the floor.
They are on the floor, okay. How long do their arms appear to be? I don't know if you
About
can see them. They
3 or 4 feet.
So, their tendrils have a 50-foot reach.
Oh.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, they're not fun.
All right, I'm gonna immediately rage and charge that one as fast as I can.
This one here?
That one.
Is this the one that you were going to? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
Like old stretchy arms.
Yeah, I'm going to be attacking it with reckless attack and using the Great Weapon Master trade-off.
Okay. Stalactite Armstrong.
It was 17 and a 16 for the advantage, so 16 plus 8 minus 5 be 19 to hit.
No, you missed. Yep, Roper suck. Next attack.
Oh, yeah, I can do it again.
Yep,
Okay, 19 to hit.
miss.
No, sorry, 19 plus 3, so 22.
Yes, that hits.
I rolled a 19. 29 damage.
Ouch.
Ow.
But he's not dead. So it is Roper's turn. Mr. Roper.
Come and knock on my door.
It has advantage to attack me, by the way.
That's true. Thank God for advantage. So his first attack misses. He gets 4 attacks.
Oh,
Oh.
he's gonna give me with one of them.
He gets a soft 20.
And I think that'll hit me. That's 16 on
So,
my
you are grappled.
Strength roll?
That means you attack at disadvantage. It gets all sorts of advantages. And you can't run away.
And so it pulls you into its mouth, and it gets to make 2 bite attacks.
These things are very fun.
Uh, 16
That'll hit.
on the first bite attack for 22 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
And the last bite attack, .24 to hit, and .22 points of piercing damage. Alright, next Ripper. He is going to make 2 attacks. Well, he's going to make 4 attacks on Norite. So, Telfar, did you make a stealth check?
I was still stealth from before the alchemist at 22. I can make
Okay.
it go later.
So, no, 22 is fine. He doesn't see you, so Norite is going to get 4 attacks on him. Soft 20 to hit. I will wait for Norite to come back. So then I can proceed to kill him.
Yeah, open
Yeah, for once you're actually doing a lot of damage.
I know, right? It's my time to shine!
You need to be killing those skeletons. We haven't had a good follower death in weeks.
That's right. So, I'm going to put a little death zone icon on Thrick, so I remember that he has skeletons.
Quotation marks around kill.
Can they really ever die?
Alright, so Norte, does a soft 20 hit you?
Yes.
Alright. So you are grappled, and it pulls you somewhere nearby into its mouth, and it gets to make 3 bite attacks on you. 9's not gonna do it. 14 isn't gonna do it. 18. Does an 18 hit you? Nope. So your armor fends off all of this thing's bite attacks, but you are in its mouth.
Oh, that's not good.
Thrick, what would you like to do?
Hey, Claudius, how much health do you have?
On
81 still.
a scale of 1 to your maximum health, how are you feeling?
Oh, you don't need to be healed.
Well, no, I'm at 20% down.
Yeah, I thought for sure you'd taken more than that, but I forgot how barbarians have a stupid amount of health.
Well, it's also the resistance.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like their hit points are doubled.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have high AC, they just have a lot of health.
Meat shields.
Armor defense is really good.
I'm gonna walk over here.
Alright.
And then I'm gonna cast Warding Bond on Flavius.
Okay, what does Warding Bond do?
It's
Is that a Xanathar spell, or is it in the player's handbook?
a fire's handbook. While the target is 60 feet, is within 60 feet of me, it gains +1 to AC and saving throws, and has resistance to all damage.
So he's already got resistance to all damage, because he's raging. But the +1 to AC might be, that's not nothing to sneeze at.
Probably this time also.
And the +1 to bonus to saving throws is nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. Probably should have done that to someone else.
But when he takes damage, you take the same amount.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that.
It's fine.
Meat shield.
It's the only way he ever takes damage.
That's true. That's true. It's my only way of hurting him is if he casts Warding Bond.
In that case, I'll also cast Shield of Faith on him. +2 to his AC.
Okay. So he's now got a +3 to his AC. And then did you want your skeletons to attack?
Oh yeah, I'll have one shoot a crossbow and 2 with maces.
Okay. Go ahead and make the crossbow attack first.
22 to hit.
That hits.
4 damage.
Okay. He's hurting now.
And neither of the maces hit.
Okay. Alright. Aaron, what would you like to do?
Well, I watched, let's make sure I got this right. Norite got a little vine wrapped around his ankle and he drug him around the corner.
Yeah, Norte, you know what? Hold on for just a second, Aaron. Norte, you have your warlock. He can cast something. I don't know if he's got any healing spells, but you haven't taken any damage, so maybe he should attack the roper before we do Aaron's turn.
Okay.
Because I forgot, and I was just looking at the little icon on your your token. And I was like, oh yeah.
He got 15.
Nope, he missed. All right, well, that was worth a try.
Norte's in the mouth of the northernmost rower, yeah?
Yep, he's up here, getting mowed. So sorry, Aaron, for interrupting. What were you doing there?
So I watched our loyal and true friend.
Yeah, from around the corner, from around the corner, you see something lash around his ankle, and he goes shoop, and just shoots off out of sight.
So I did the measurement, so I'm going to come around to the corner, that's 15, and cut north and engage this one at, so there's my 30. That's my 30 move.
Gotcha.
To engage this roper because it's the one that's got Norte.
Correct.
And I did a nature check and I critted that.
Yeah, you got a 22. So you know.
So I hollered out that the tendrils can be attacked, but you're not going to really kill them unless you go after the base.
Correct. And you know, with your 22, I will tell you that each tendril has an AC of 20 and only has 10 hit points. Immunity to poison and psychic damage. Destroying a tendril deals no damage to the roper, which can extrude a replacement tendril on its next turn.
Okay. In any event, I'm coming to Norte's defense here. I'm going to attack this northernmost roper.
Go for it.
Okay, come on and roll. I clicked on it. Why didn't it do a roll?
I might be thinking really hard about it.
Huh. Maybe click here?
All of us nerds are just killing Roll20.
It worked before. I mean, I did.
No, I know, but I mean, sometimes their server takes a second.
Oh, I was clicking in the item, not in the attack. Okay, boom, there we go.
Yeah, that hits.
Holy crap, good. Alright, 15, and since it's engaged, another 15 with the sneak.
30 total. Yeah, you deal a very good blow, but it's not dead. You stab this roper, and it squeals with its mouth full of Norte.
Now, let's see, I have done a move and an attack. I'll use my bonus as a war cleric to do yet another attack.
Go for it.
Use one of my opportunities to do that.
Okay.
And that probably won't hit.
Nope, that's a miss.
Okay, done.
All right. Mittens, what are you up to?
Stay back here where it's not at all safe, but more relatively safe.
Yes.
And one of my rose stars in it.
Okay. So,
Which is a fifth level magic missile.
yes. Go ahead and roll your damage.
$27.
Nice.
Yeah, like 4 fours.
Yeah, that you see these magic missiles shoot out of the cavern and slam into the side of this roper. It's not dead, but it is grievously injured.
I'm not here.
I didn't do nothing. Telfar, what would you like to do?
Hi. I'm going to test out my new flow of flying.
Okay.
I'm going to flourish it around a little bit and rise up into the air.
Okay, you are flying.
From what I understand, about an hour's worth of it.
Yes. Let me see if I got an icon for flying. Probably not. That would make too much sense, right?
You're a rogue for that, man.
Oh, hey, here's a little wing.
Yay!
You are flying.
Alright, and I'm going to hover maybe about, I don't know.
So this ceiling is 30 feet high, and you've got a 60-foot fly speed.
Yeah, was hoping about, I don't know, 5 feet over and 15 feet up so that I could get a better shot at the roper that's got Norte.
All right, go for it.
Rolling to hit with my crossbow.
Nope, that's a miss.
I'm going to, I don't know, attempt to hide in the shadows next to the wall.
All right, go ahead and make your hide check.
25.
All right, so you find a little ledge, and you perch on that ledge 15 feet up, and you are hidden in the shadows. Norte, you are in the mouth of the roper, so you could, if you wanted to, you could make an attack against the roper. Hold on, let me look at this real quick. So you could make an attack against the roper with advantage, or you can try to break the grapple.
I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds.
Okay, you have advantage on the attack.
Level spell. Got 23.
That is a hit.
Okay.
Mess him up.
This is pretty good. Alright. This is 2, 9, 13. Two damage.
How much?
32.
Nice. So yeah, you reach out and touch someone, and you can see, like, if a rock had veins, they all bulge out, and this thing kind of just shrivels in on itself, but it is not dead yet.
Okay.
So the ugly things now you have their...
Norte, does your warlock want to make an attack? Your sidekick?
That is 19.
Nope, that's a miss.
Ow. Okay.
Flavius, what would you like to do?
Okay, so it has me partially in his mouth eating that part of me?
Yep, it's making an attempt.
So I'm at disadvantage, right?
No, you would have advantage on your attack on him because you're right there.
I have advantage on my attack against it?
Yes.
Oh, then I don't need to use
Or you can try to break the grapple, which is a DC 15 strength athletics check.
Yeah. I think I'm not as worried about that right now. I just want to try and kill this thing. So, my first roll to hit is 20 to hit.
That hits.
And I do 12, 13, 20, 30 damage.
Oof. Oof. It is, you've got the roper on the ropes.
And also, from my attack the first round, with the web sword of wounding, it continues to do a die 4 each round each time I hit the wound. It continues to do a die 4 every round.
Yep, go ahead and roll a die 4 then.
So that's another 2 damage then on top of that.
Okay. It is barely clinging to life. You notice that the tendril around your ankle is getting very weak.
Okay, 21 to hit.
That hits.
And this is 10, 11, 13, 18 plus 10 is 28 damage.
Yeah, you bring your weapon down and slice right through it, and it falls dead. When it falls dead, because your damage was so great, four gemstones worth 100 gold pieces each fall out of its guts, and it spills out 32 copper pieces onto the floor. Hey, piece of candy.
Stone pinatas.
Yes.
Okay, I scream in rage and look for the other one. Actually, do I have a move action still?
Yeah, you can move.
Okay. What is this?
What is what?
In between Aaron and
It's part of the mushroom forest and the stalactites and whatnot.
It's a stalactite sticking out of the ground.
Or stalagmite. It's hanging from the ceiling.
Hanging from the ceiling. Okay. So I can go through that area. I'll go right over here.
Yes.
Charging the other one, but I don't have any other actions. So.
All right. So the roper, it is going to make a bite attack. It's going to make 2 bite attacks on Narate to begin with. Nat 20. And a 4. So the nat 20 ugh. $34 points of piercing damage. Yes.
That hurt.
Yes.
Would that activate my sentinel?
What does Sentinel do?
If it attacks another person within 5 feet of it.
I believe it would, yeah. Is that a barbarian feature or is that just a feat?
It's a feat.
Okay. Let me take a look here.
He also gets to take opportunity attacks even if they disengage.
23 to hit.
That is a hit.
22 to hit, actually.
So yeah, when you hit with an opportunity attack, creature speed becomes 0 for the rest of its turn. Creatures provoke opportunity attacks from you even if they disengage. When a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, and that target doesn't have this feat, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against the attacking creature. So yeah,
17 points of damage.
Alright. Alright. That was your reaction. So then, it is going to do a tendril attack on Aaron. With a 26 to hit.
I'm wrapped up.
Yep. It grapples you and pulls you into its mouth, and it is going to make a bite attack on you. For 15.
Owie, ow.
15 hit you?
That's not damage. 15 does not hit.
Okay, so, yeah, you are holding this thing's mouth open as it's trying to nom on you. And it is Thrick's turn.
I'm just gonna go ahead. And so Aaron's in the mouth, right?
Yeah, it's got both Aaron and Narate trying to chomp on both of them. And it's got tendrils around both of them, so it's just kind of, 2 fist and Twinkies.
Interesting. Did Aaron take off damage? Or
Narate did.
okay.
He's got some teeth in him right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it bit down and probably broke off its incisors inside him.
Hey, Liam, how much damage did you take?
34.
34?
Yeah, right now I'm at 36 health.
So basically, if it gets one more bite on him, it could kill him.
Oh my god, yeah. Let's see here. I'm just gonna use Mass Cure Wounds on anyone who needs healing.
Okay.
So it's up to 6 people.
5 people on the roper.
Yeah, of course.
I'll leave the roper out of it.
You just target us all.
Everyone heals for 25 health.
Nice.
Or anyone who needs it, I guess.
Okay. So yeah,
And then that's my turn.
6.
All right. Aaron, you are wrapped up. Do you want to make an attack with advantage, or do you want to try to succeed at breaking the grapple?
I don't believe in these either or situations. So the first thing I'm going to do, as this rope is tied around my waist, pulling me into its mouth, but I have my feet on either side of the mouth, holding me from getting yanked in, is I'm going to wail on this thing. And
On the tendril or on the roper?
on the roper.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the roper.
Go for
You
it.
say, yeah, I've got advantage, you say. All right.
Yes.
So, boom. Oh, blech.
Nope.
Okay.
That is a miss.
All right. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to Misty Step, which lets me teleport to wherever I want to within some certain number of feet. And I'm going to basically teleport to kind of where I am. Well, actually, why don't I just move over to the backside there so I can still engage him. Oh, I guess I'm snapping to grid or something. But, okay, I move to behind him.
Okay.
And there's my action.
All right. So this is the sound of Narate getting eaten.
That's like a quick on-off at the garbage disposal.
Yes. Mittens, what would you like to do?
That's not good.
I'm just going to fling another star, I guess.
All right. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Starry Night.
That is gonna kill it.
Okay. In that case, I don't need to go. I'm not here.
So your magic missiles rip into this, and they fly around Norita and just rip this thing open, and 3 100 gold piece gems fall out of its guts, and 11 silver pieces fall out.
Yay! Everyone gets a gem.
Yeah, there should be enough gems there for everybody to get one, and have a couple left over.
So we all get 1 gem, 1 copper, and 1 silver.
Yep, 100 gold piece gem. Yeah, that sounds about right. Hold on just a moment. I will be right back.
Gotta put that copper to good use.
Copper is so freaking worthless.
Hey, you can
Pennies, you're carrying around pennies.
Of course, in
You
the
just
real
leave it
world,
all our copper in a sack for other adventurers to get pissed at. Like, ooh, a sack of gold. Wait, no, it's copper.
I mean, depending on how much there is, it could be a silver.
Copper's still no. You know, it's not lovely seeing it. Like you see a bag of copper, you just shrug.
I see a bag of copper, I'm like, ooh, money.
I mean, I think Canada had the right idea when they decided, you know what? Screw these. We're getting rid of pennies. All right. So
what are archaeologists from the far future going to find? You know,
I know, right?
we need some loot to just throw on the ground and leave.
When you were younger, Carl, did you ever read the Steve Jackson's sorcery, choose your own adventure role-playing books?
Oh, yes.
There was a spell in the spell book where its material component was a copper piece, and it did a lot of damage. It wasn't like a fireball, but it did like a ton of damage. Yeah, the sorcery books were great. Okay, so out of this chamber, there is a passage going to the east. There's a obvious passage that's wider going to the north, and there's a passage that continues to the south. And the passage to the east, you can see that the passage does continue traveling to the east. It's fairly narrow at like maybe 4 feet wide, but then there is a break maybe 15 feet down that travels to the south.
Well, Tracker Man, can you see any fancy drow footprints or anything like that?
Yeah, go ahead and make your tracking check.
26.
That's pretty good.
Shelly the Tracker Jacker.
That sounds like the name of a serial killer.
Exactly. That's what we've been doing so far.
Killing anything that gets in our way.
Basically.
Murder hobos.
Murder hobos.
So you pick up some very odd tracks. Let me look around the map here to see exactly.
Thrick is the character right underneath Ladies, right? On the word.
Yeah.
Correct.
He's a big old lizard boy.
Yeah, he's a lizard folk.
As we get going where we're going, Ladies pats him on the back. He goes, "Thanks for whatever you did. Made me feel great."
It's all
Yeah.
yeah. placebo.
Morals to do
The sugar pills are your friend. So
Good touch, not a bad touch.
from this direction, you find the fancy boot tracks.
Alright.
However, from this direction, you find other boot tracks, and these are completely new, and these are a soft-soled boot, and the footprint is smaller. Your guess with your tracking would be that this is from a woman.
Alright, so I told the party that there seems to be some footprints going north from a woman, and the footprints we've been following are heading east still.
Could the soft-souled woman boots be the, I don't know, genie mage lady who caused problems at the Xanathar Guild and then portaled the heck out?
Ooh.
There's got to be more than one woman that wears soft-soled boots down here.
Nope, there's only one.
There's only one.
Only one in the whole city. They came down here. There's only one.
The whole entire Underdark.
That's what it means to be an adventurer. There is no such thing as coincidence.
Yeah.
So you got what, a 26?
Yeah.
So you're 26. You can tell that the soles of these boots are not designed for this kind of environment. This person doesn't belong down here.
Dun, dun, dun.
She's wearing a red dress, and she's got blue eyes.
And she wants to kiss you.
And this is what you can tell from the footprints.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's wearing Chanel number 5.
She likes long walks on the
Yes. You can tell that by the stride.
Yes. Actually, I was interested in the length of the stride if it showed that she was running versus just walking.
So the length of the stride that you see is that no, she's not running. It appears to be more of a shuffle drag.
Oh, well, she made it past these ropers somehow, so she's not incompetent. But shuffle drag doesn't.
Could be hurt.
Yeah.
So should we head north then?
Well, Flavius, as our new leader, what should we do?
Telfar beats him to it.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes!
Telfar starts flying in that direction.
Okay.
Which direction is it? I didn't see it. Oh, okay, gotcha.
North.
All right.
Alright, good job, Flavius.
Good choice.
Way to delegate that decision making.
Go ahead and go that way, Telfar.
You know, from now on, whenever anything goes right, I'm going to congratulate Flavius.
Yes.
Yes.
Even when he's not there.
Due to his great leadership, we have successfully done whatever the heck it is.
Whenever something's wrong, of course, it's totally not his fault.
No.
No. Why would it be?
It's rolls dice. That person.
Except for Telfar, she's always hidden.
Yeah.
So just be to roll a d4.
We don't even know Telfar's with us.
I got a 25 on my last one, so.
Wait, who's Telfar?
Exactly.
Right?
Didn't we leave Telfar up in the tavern?
Yeah.
Like a cat, you just see them teleport to different places.
Or a wizard's familiar just pops out of nowhere whenever it's needed.
All right.
Telfar's the one that didn't even introduce himself to the party for like months. In the very beginning of our campaign, we just started tagging along and hiding behind curtains.
Yeah. Yeah, for like the first month of the game, hardly anybody even knew that Telfar existed.
And now he comes to, like, run the town and does the finances.
And
Still don't know he exists.
hires bearded devils to steal souls.
Yeah.
Phosphorescent moss growing in patches on the walls dimly lights this entire cave. Gardens of barrel stalk, ripple bark, tamask, and tongue of madness grow throughout. Near the north wall, a very slight woman wearing tattered gray robes over black pants sits on a 2-foot-tall toadstool. Her long black hair is tied with a swatch of gray cloth and matches her robe. A toad is sitting on her knee that she is talking to. She's very, very quietly whispering to this frog. She's like, yeah, I know they're out there. I know. Oh, hello. What? Who are you?
Well met, miss. We're adventurers from the surface up in Waterdeep. We're down here seeking some individuals. Not you, but we noticed your footprints near the roper and wanted to make sure that you were safe.
She says, oh, why, hello, my name is Darabeth Meltamir. I'm a mage. Not of very much renown, I'm afraid. You've probably never heard of me. And then she looks down at the frog and she goes, oh, hush. They They wouldn't be them. Oh, silent you. Sorry, he keeps talking to me.
Yeah, I know that. I've got a chicken. Can't get rid of him.
She says, I was a part of an expedition that came down into the Underdark, but we were set upon by drow, and I escaped barely with my life. I think the rest of the expedition was killed off, and somehow I found my way here.
Okay, I want to do my thing to see if she's lying. And that is my... What is it? Gold my slash roll.
We didn't come up with a name for a party.
20 plus. Yeah, we need a name. Okay. And so I'm over my... So her deception needs to be to match or exceed that.
She is...
Otherwise I can tell if she's telling lies.
So she's not lying, but your insight check clearly tells you that she's not altogether with it. She's clearly quite batshit. However, your 21 tells you that the toad sitting on her knee it's not that she's crazy. It may actually be talking to her.
Excuse me, Batilda Bathshot, or whatever your name was.
Darabeth Meltonbear.
You have one of those known names. Take pity on me. Yes. Would you perhaps be a wizard with and that you're familiar?
Oh, I am a mage, but no, this isn't my familiar. He just is something that I found. He was all by himself and he needed help. Oh, how I wish I could get back to my wife Urgula. I haven't seen her in nearly a decade.
Wow. Where are you from? Where's your home?
Oh, Urgula and I, we were living in the town of Amphale, just north of Waterdeep.
And how came you to be here and never return for so long?
Oh, I joined that expedition. We went down into the Underdark seeking information and lost secrets, and now here I am. Oh, hush! Hush you! I'm telling you, they are not here to kill me.
You talking to that toad?
Yes, he's completely paranoid. He thinks that you're all here to kill me.
He rolls his eyes and backs away for a second.
I don't want to catch your brand of crazy.
Can we give her the little room codes to activate the gate back up to the surface?
That's valuable stuff. Maybe we should just take her back if we think she needs rescuing. It would only take us at most a day. But I suspect that I'm worried that the frog is evil.
Everybody roll a history check.
Oh yeah, that's totally something I'm wonderful at.
Oh, yeah. Can you beat a 5? That's how much I know about history.
I rolled a 4.
20.
Who got a 20?
Me. Saul.
So, Norite, you, when she says that her wife's name is Urgula, you know that there is an Urgula who is running a modest inn called the North Shield House in the town of Tribor.
Okay.
So while he's pondering over the significance of that, I'll ask, have you been unable to get to the surface?
Oh, I've tried many times, but But my friend here, he keeps telling me that we're being followed. I can't trust my own wits. I don't know who's out to get me. There were ropers down to the south. I knew that.
Not anymore.
Oh, well, that's good to know. But I'm sure that there are other things out there that are ready to kill us.
Honestly, anything out there that's ready to kill you is probably just as ready to kill us too.
Oh, that's probably true. Does any of you... So, you guys are all aware that she is paranoid in the extreme, to the point of that she's probably manifesting, multiple madnesses. Does any of you have Greater Restoration?
Maybe.
You could cast Greater Restoration on her and restore her sanity.
Alright, I'll do that.
I can just slap her across the face.
I think that's only a temporary solution.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have to line up like on an airplane.
Yeah.
Just continually keep slapping.
Yeah, so I'm going to cast Greater Restoration on her.
Okay. You cast Greater Restoration on her, and she kind of blinks, and like she's coming out of a fog, like out of a dream state. And she takes the toad on her knee, and she throws it away across the cavern, and she says, "Oh, foul thing!" And when the toad hits the ground, it tumbles across the dirt and then goes poof and turns into a closet.
Oh.
And the closet looks around at you guys and says, "Ah!" and turns invisible immediately and flees. And she says, oh, thank you for restoring my wits and allowing me to relieve myself of that foul beast. I would like to repay you. Please, take this rope of climbing." And she pulls out of her pack this bundled up rope. She said, "It belonged to a colleague of mine, but he perished in the Underdark. Do you know the way to the surface?"
Yes, in fact, we do.
"I really want to get back to my wife, Urgula."
You might.
"I do hope she hasn't moved on from the town of Amphale."
Well, let's see. Narte, were you the one that made the history check?
Yeah, I think she might be in the town of Tribor.
"Oh, Tribor, you say? Well, then I will head directly there. Do you know where in Tribor?"
You've been gone a long time. Why don't you... We have an inn just directly above us in Waterdeep that you can stay in at least for a night and prepare for your trip, come to terms with how long you've been gone, learn what you can. Why don't you stay at the Troll Skull Manor just for the evening, or as long as you need. We'll give you a week for free. And then you can go in, reunite, figure out what you gotta do.
"Oh, that is so very kind of you."
No problem. I mean, it's very kind of you to provide us with the magical item. It's worth much more than just a few nights stay at our inn.
"Oh, I haven't matched that kind of kindness in many a long year. Thank you, thank you."
It's hard to find when you have a closet stuck to your knee.
"Yes, foul demon. He kept telling me that you were Quagoths in disguise."
Well, why don't we go back? We can escort you back. And this is just off, not said, but I don't want to really give her codes that allow her to travel back and forth like we do, not without more trust. But we can take her back, and it won't take any time in the game. And she can tell us what she knows about where she's been down here.
So her memory is fuzzy on where she's been or who she's met or who she's talked to. She tells you that Tiha, the closet in toad form, told her that she and the toad were being hunted by Hezru demons that were coming up from the south.
Okay. We'll
But
remember that.
that's
but,
all she really remembers.
Okay. So we'll off screen take her back up, make sure she's safe. I mean, she's been in a haze for who knows how long.
Okay, are you going to use the portals?
Hey, I was wondering if we could maybe send Liam's minion or something to escort her while we carry on.
You should. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
So that would leave Liam without, or Norte would be without his warlock, but yeah, that would be completely acceptable.
Works for me.
An alternative to, losing our trail here or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you okay with that, Liam?
Yep.
Okay. So I will go ahead and remove the token, and I will remove her. All right. So your warlock sidekick takes her up to the surface.
Okay. And I'll look around this area. I mean, in a matter of just this is just a perception. Just trying to understand this area. I can see there are a couple of exits from here, but it doesn't.
Make a Aaron. Make a nature check.
14.
So in this cavern, you make a nature check, and you're able to identify some of these, some of the fungus that's growing here. One of them is called barrel stalk, and barrel stalk fungus is a large, like toadstool with a barrel-like cap on it, and you know that these can be tapped for water. And since you know that the water sources down here are all tainted in some way, that this may be the only source of fresh water should you need it. You also identify that ripple bark it is a massive fungus that grows in ledges on the wall, and it looks like rotting flesh. But you know that ripple bark is edible. And not only that, but you know that it actually tastes really good when it's roasted, just like you would roast beef.
Okay. Yeah, we've eaten ripple bark before, but I don't remember the barrel.
And the other one you notice in here, there are mushrooms called tamask. And tamask is used, you can cut off sheaths of it, and it can be used dried and used like parchment. And then the last one that you find in here, there are growths of what is known as tongue of madness, and it looks like a giant humanoid tongue just sticking out of the wall with drool dripping off of it. And you know that tongues of madness, let me look up real quick what tongues of madness do. They are quite fun. There it is. So, tongue of madness looks like a large human tongue. Although it is edible, it holds no nutritional value. A creature that eats the fungus must succeed on a DC 12 Constitution saving throw or compulsively speak aloud its every thought for the next hour. The effect can be ended with a lesser restoration spell or similar magic.
Oh, Aaron, you have to get a vial for that.
Oh yeah. We definitely want some of that stuff.
That's right up your alley, buddy.
Okay, and that's I'm going to add that to my inventory list. So what is the name of that thing again?
It's called Tongue of Madness.
Tongue of Madness.
And we'll say that you got three doses of Tongue of Madness.
And just out of curiosity, who's holding on to that rope climbing?
Yeah. Well, you're deciding that. I will be right back.
Telfar was hidden for all of that, but I, want to make sure I know where that is. It's on somebody's character sheet or bag.
Okay, I'll add it to my loot bag since I have.
You were the one doing all the talking.
I don't care. We're supposed to be selling magical items, right? Was that sort of the? We're down here for money.
Carl, we completed that quest so many months ago.
I mean,
That lady sailed off back to Chult and sold all the things to.
so why are we even here?
We're just spelunking, bruh.
Okay.
As far as I know, we've got a couple of side quests and stuff, and we were in the lair of Xanathar, and
I'm in it for the money. I need some reason to risk my life, so I'm in it for the money.
So are you saying we're just supposed to be good?
Well, I don't know. Isn't that what we're doing? From my halfling's perspective, it's all just about adventure. He's curious, he's got wanderlust. It's like, what are we doing today? I don't know. Have a good time, y'all. We're finding exotic items. We're helping people get their memories back.
Okay.
The blind chieftain get his blindsight dagger. I don't know. Telfar's just in it for all the laughs, He's a halfling.
That makes sense.
It's all just very interesting for him. Constant curiosity.
Well, I grew up dirt poor and was forced into crime and busted out of that trap. But I want money.
Well, yeah, absolutely. If you want money, I will, totally trade you with Sunblade for that rope, because the Sunblade is not sneaky, and that rope totally is, and it just doesn't jazz.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking that I'm not unethical, so I'm thinking we split the. This is party loot if it's not going to be used. So, but yeah, the Sunblade, if you're not going to use it.
Like 2 injections of it? So one is about
You didn't say anything when I used that dagger there. Apparently, Norote has that Sunblade. I was mistaken because we traded that blade, but I didn't have it written down.
All right, I am back.
Works for me.
So what are you guys doing with the?
The rope is going to go to Telfar for use.
Okay, that's
I'll give you my gold gem for it. How's that?
It isn't to me. It's a party resource. As long as it's used for the party, you can hang on to it. It's yours.
Oh, sure, but you said you wanted to sell stuff.
When we find stuff that's not going to keep us alive, I sort of want to stay alive first.
So to answer the first question, you were wondering why you were down here. So you've got a couple of side quests. The first side quest was to get the House Resznar signet ring, which is in the possession of Azerok, the blind hobgoblin. His wife tells you that there's no way he's going to let loose of that. But 2 dwarves stole his Dagger of Blindsight, which is really the only way that he's able to adequately lead the Legion of Azerok. So, if you can return his Dagger of Blindsight, then she will make sure that he gives you the Resznar family crest.
Does it have to be the same dagger? Or can that be... Can we get a new one? Would a new one be easier than trying to track this one down? Is my question.
Well, you've never really heard of a Dagger of Blindsight, so this is something that's a completely new item. So it may be more difficult to find a new one than you might think.
Well, bummer. I just have to ask. I don't know. Is
We
it
need
a
We need a dagger of optimism.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. This is great. He stumbles into the wall. Oh, that was perfectly great. I wondered where that wall was.
So the rope of climbing is considered an uncommon, wondrous item. The 60-foot length of silk rope weighs 3 pounds and can hold up to 3,000 pounds. If you hold one end of the rope and use an action to speak the command word, the rope animates. As a bonus action, you can command the other end to move toward a destination you choose. That end moves 10 feet on your turn, and when you first command it, and 10 feet on each of your turns until reaching its destination, up to its maximum length away, or until you tell it to stop. You can also tell the rope to fasten itself securely to an object, or to unfasten itself, to knot or unknot itself, or to coil itself for carrying. If you tell the rope to knot, large knots appear in 1-foot intervals along the rope. While knotted, the rope shortens to a 50-foot length and grants advantage on checks made to climb it. The rope has AC 20 and it has 20 hit points. It regains 1 hit point every 5 minutes as long as it has at least 1 hit point. If the rope drops to 0 hit points, it is destroyed.
Okay. And so, does anyone want this in addition to Telfar? I'm stepping out, but if we have multiple people that want it, roll off.
I don't necessarily need it. I just, don't want to be sold or anything.
It's
It
useful.
would be useful to somebody.
Okay.
No? Nobody else thinks it would be useful to them?
Well, it's certainly useful, but as long as you have it, then it's available.
I think you should put whoever's most useful for them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
out of this cavern, you see there is a south passage that kind of curves around towards the east, and then there's a Y section where a passage from the north connects to it and it continues south. Then there's an eastern passage, and you see that there's a Y section there where it kind of travels to the southwest, but the rest of the passage continues to the east. Which direction would you like to go?
Well, we've addressed the mystery of the woman with the dragging feet. I think we should go back to the Roper Cavern and head towards the east after the
Alright.
Fancy blueprints.
after the Drow boot prints.
Okay. Let me
That's room 6, I think.
group you guys back up here.
We head east.
I do like having Discord on my phone because I can take it with me even when I'm not at the computer.
I know, right? So, what is your marching order? Who's going first?
I'll go first if you want me to lead.
Okay.
We should have the tracker up at the front. Otherwise,
Right, yeah.
That's good.
and Flavia says the muscle can be right behind the tracker in case we run into problems.
Yeah, I was going to say I can either get in front or towards the back, either way.
I'd like Telfar to be above and between the first 2 people. How long do I got left on my hour of paint?
We'll say that there's probably, after that whole conversation with her, we'll say that there's 30 minutes left.
Cool.
And I've got you kind of off to the side here because you're kind of
Do I need
flying.
to do a stealth roll because I did not reveal myself to the lady?
No, you can go ahead and maintain your stealth roll.
Cool, I'm still at 25.
Before we get out of the Roper Cavern, what happened with the gemstones and gold that we found there?
I think
thought we distributed to them and that everybody got one, and then we had a community pile of 2 leftovers.
Right. And then there was...
You should add 1 gem worth 100 gold.
Yeah, it should be, everybody gets, we'll just make this easy, everybody gets, let's see here, there's 6 of you. We'll say that everybody gets one 100 gold piece gem. You get 1 silver piece, or excuse me, 2 silver pieces, and everybody gets 10 copper, and we'll just call it even.
And Telfar flings his copper against the wall.
Yep.
Yep, and then there's 2 100 gold piece gems that are left over that you could put into the tavern fund if you wanted, or however you want to do that.
Yeah, we can just sell those and split up the gold later. We'll just
There
put
we
it in
go.
a little. I've got a little loot, like group loot thing going on my character sheet.
I'll buy one, and the coins can be distributed because carrying all this coinage is terrible.
So, and I was unaware of the page, even though I've read the book at least twice. Jeremy Crawford says there are 50 coins to 1 pound.
Yeah, that's why I was glad we went back upstairs and could dump off massive quantities of coinage.
Now I don't track encumbrance because I think it's tedious and boring and it's not adventurous. But I mean, if you find a dragon's hoard, there's going to be some logical situations that have to be, thought out. It's like you're not gonna walk out of there with all 6,000 platinum pieces. It just can't be done.
I just want.
I'm going
I'm just gonna take the heart of the mountain. That's my share.
Right. So who's going to follow after Flavius?
Narte.
All right. And after Narate?
Thrick.
I thought Thrick was up front for tracking.
Oh, sorry. Mittens.
All right. And then Aaron in the rear.
And I'll be looking behind to make sure that nothing comes up from behind.
So you come to this Y section, and you see that this Y section kind of Ys again, but it continues going south. And then the passage continues going to the east.
Go power tracker.
Yeah, I'll check for where the footprints lead.
Okay.
19.
The footprints lead in both directions.
Alright.
Age of footprints?
Checking this.
Yeah. I guess which are the more recent prints?
What'd you get on your survival roll?
19.
You would determine that the more recent prints actually come from the south.
Alright. Guess that'd be a better direction, unless they dropped it off somewhere.
I have faith in you.
All right, so you're moving south?
Yeah?
All right.
Do I need to make another check here?
Hold on just a second. All right. So yeah, you come to another Y, and this time the Y section goes to the east, but it appears from the echoes and whatnot, you can determine that it's a dead end, and then the path continues to the south. Go ahead and make your survival check.
Um, 15.
Okay. So on a 15, so okay, you get down to here, and now you can determine that there are two sets of boot prints. So, or excuse me, two sets of tracks rather. The fancy boot prints continue to go to the east here. However, to the west or southwest over here, you see large crab-like tracks that lead into the water, and there's the edge of a lake here.
Crab people, crab people.
We love crowd.
So I guess the boots
We have found liver.
Hold on.
Since Telfar has fast flying speed. Would it be alright for him to go check out the little dead end real quick, all sneaky like?
Or I'm sorry, it's not a lake. This is the edge of the river, and you see there are crab people tracks that go into this river. And I'm sorry, what was your question, Telfar?
Since I got the fast flying speed 60 feet, I was wondering if I could fly into that dead end area real stealthy like and check it out.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah, you fly in there, and you don't even have to make a check. You've got a light source, so you can see. The cavern here just kind of peters out into nothing. It looks like it was probably carved by water.
Nothing of interest then?
No. Your guess is that at certain times this river floods, and it goes up into this chamber, and that these caverns were carved by that water.
Got it.
That's a little disconcerting. Are the walls wet?
Everything's wet. Carl, make a perception check.
I tell you, man, I invested all of these skills and everything to get a perception that's sky high in my roll garbage.
I know, that's why I stopped using the digital roller, man. That thing is just poison. So with an 11, though, it's high enough. You notice not only is everything wet in here, everything is gross slimy. There's slime dripping off the walls. There's slime on the floor. Everything is slimy. It's like an exceptionally snotty snail came through here.
So this is
there's
living slime, like algae and
it's more like ectoplasm. It's just dripping off of everything.
It's mucus.
Monster slime.
Okay. I'll let people know that we might be facing some sort of worm or something. I don't know what would create this slime on the walls.
Thrick,
If I have any,
It's like a slug.
let me see if I.
Thrick, make a perception check.
No, I checked a nature check. I have no idea what could create this kind of condition, but it's not growth. It's something is leaving a trail. Okay.
Alright, so do we want to follow the prince or like follow the crab? Like
Thrick, make a perception check.
15.
An echo from across the river. This river is fairly slow moving. You know that this is probably a tributary off of the Sargoth. From across the river, you can hear echoing in the cavern. You can hear.
Murlocs.
Yeah. So sounds like there's some murlocs in the direction from the water. Echoing.
We should not be distracted from our goal.
Alright, so we'll just ignore them.
Go to the east.
All right.
That sounds right.
All right.
All right, a cavern with a letter and a number.
Important.
Quick! Everybody assume battle formations. There's a letter and a number on the floor.
So, Telfar, are you taking point with your flying and your stealth?
Yes.
All right. Make a perception check.
I'm going to burn another one of my daily luck charges on my natural 2. Ah, yay, another 20! I'm so happy.
Nice. You see 2 drow standing guard in the cavern.
And I'm going to turn around and go. I will break my stealth to my party.
Okay.
If anyone didn't know where I was.
Oh god, where'd you come out of?
It's a flying halfling. Little bat wings. And he's going to whisper there are at least 2 drow in the next cavern. They look like they are poised for fighting and sentries and ready to go. High alert.
Okay. Can you throw a pebble east of them so it makes a tiny little distraction, or does someone have an ability to make a what is it?
Honestly, she could probably make a stealth roll, sneak up behind one of them, and shiv him and kill him. I mean,
yeah. Well, I was going to do a stealth to help, but if we can get their attention to the east for just a second, it'll help us. So I'm doing super stealth.
We could both try to take them out stealthily. My Chwinga has the power to make some kind of natural noise.
Okay, done.
Like,
Enough. That's
some
enough.
kind of like a breeze or a whisper or something like that.
They just hear something.
Yeah, that's all we need. And then, as soon as you hear the screaming from the sneak attacks, everybody charge in and burn them down.
okay.
What are they?
They're drow.
Oh, okay.
So, Telfar, are you going to take the one on the top or the one on the bottom?
I'll take the one on the top. Do I need to re-roll my stealth?
Yes.
Okay.
Aaron, what'd you get for yourself?
28.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't see it. Yeah, no.
24 here.
Okay, so they don't see either of you. You both get surprise attacks.
Sweet.
All right. So,
Who wants to go first? Telfar or Aaron?
I just rolled.
All right, that is a hit.
And wait, first I should do. Well, that was the sneak damage. Here's the weapon damage. So a total of 20.
Yeah. So you just come up behind him and you shiv him in the kidneys and just drop him.
Oh my! These guys weren't serious threats.
Telfar, what's your attack?
Assassin's Creed, like.
Yes.
How tall is the ceiling?
30 feet.
I'll get to about 10 feet above the drow and crossbow.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 50 feet high. But it slopes down to 30 feet towards the southeast.
Oh,
So
man, if I'd known ahead of time, I would have given you the piercer. You could have flown him up to the top and let him go.
Drop it right on. 5d10 damage. Eat.
Yeah, I don't need to go up that high, like 10, 15 feet above them to try to snipe them out. Headshot.
Go for it.
That is a 25 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
For 20 damage.
Yeah, you drop him.
Okay. So these were mooks. These were low-level nothings. These weren't.
These are plan work really good.
Yeah, but well, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. The team wasn't going to have fun. These were going to drop on the first hit, no matter who it was.
So in here, so like I said, the ceiling here is 50 feet high, but it slopes down to 30 feet high toward the southeast. Natural shelves and narrow ledges line the walls, ranging in height from 10 to 30 feet. Harmless bats flutter around, disturbed by your presence. The floor is dotted with stumps of felled zirkwood stalks and the occasional bat carcass impaled by a drow crossbow bolt.
Okay. We loot the bodies.
So,
Looking for any kind of
each
insignias or something like that.
Each of the drow is bearing a obsidian scarab that bears the insignia of House Avrendar. They're worth 25 gold pieces each.
Okay. So these insignia are meant to be worn on the outside where people can.
Yeah, they're like a cloak pin.
Okay. And are they wearing uniforms?
Just black leather armor.
I'll make my armor of glamour look like theirs.
Okay.
Not that it makes much difference because I don't have that kind of hair. But.
Okay.
So we don't learn a whole lot from these guys, but these are guards. So let's move on.
Shall I do survival checks to see which way they went?
Yep.
Sure.
28.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 28. You find that to the south there's a chasm here, and there's a long plank of zirkwood that has been dropped across, just a single plank. Mm-hmm. You see that there are a number of tracks that lead to this plank that are not the drow boots. However, leading up this path, you see more of the drow boot tracks. Right. Make a nature check. You recognize these tracks as being Quagoth.
Okay.
So the Quagoth tracks go to the southeast, while the drow tracks continue on to the northeast.
So it looks like the northeast is where we want to go then. That's where the boots are.
Yeah. We toss the corpses into the chasm so that they're not left behind.
Okay.
Good call.
There's probably a whole bunch of corpses down at the bottom of that chasm.
They just happened to trip.
Alright, hold on.
Okay.
So you go and you toss the corpses into the cavern. And let me find him here.
Oh, crap.
There are all these Quagoth down there.
What?
And they immediately see you dumping a corpse.
Oh, man.
Quick, roll stealth.
Yeah, maybe they won't notice you.
What are these things?
Quagoth. Quagoth are drow slave races. They're not really treated very well, but they look a lot like. Did you ever read Marvel Comics Alpha Strike? They look a lot like Wendigo.
Okay.
Just start crossing that bridge and then up into the chasm.
Actually, if we can lure them to us over the bridge, we can knock them into the chasm and leave the bridge as a trap. But but they probably have ranged weapons.
They do not. So everybody roll initiative.
Man, you can't take 3 steps in this dungeon without...
Yeah, see what happens when the DM spends time to pre-do the dungeon? It's just constant fighting.
17.
All right, Mittens, what'd you get? I'm sorry?
22.
All right.
This whole time I was talking, I didn't realize that I didn't put my
Oh,
microphone back down, so it was muted the whole time.
nice.
Don't go to the chasm.
Telfar, what'd you get?
8.
Oh, big 8. Hey, you get to go before the Quagoth.
Yay.
Norte, what'd you get?
17.
Flavius.
21.
Nice.
Did that advantage on initiative rolls? So helps.
Yes. Thrick.
19.
So what are we doing stealthily?
Oh, no, they're aware of you.
Oh, wait.
Aaron.
6.
Wow, Aaron.
Like we go stealthily and not stealthily.
So, Mittens, what would you like to do?
Let me just...
Lightning bolt.
No, not lightning bolt.
Chain lightning. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Fireball.
Super green.
Yeah, that's definitely one. Fireball.
All right. So they get all of them will make a dex save of 6. So they're going to eat all the shit.
I think this is going to be a short fight.
It might be.
Well, I'm going to blame my low initiative because my arms were full of dead drow.
Ooh, they didn't die.
Not yet.
Not
Quick,
yet.
bonus action, do it again.
Hey, stop with all the measurement. I can't see the guys.
Oh, I thought it said hide from others. Sorry.
Hold on.
Sorry.
That definitely softened them up.
Quick cast fireball.
You gonna do another one?
Yeah.
This time, almost all of us go with them.
Yeah.
So you're gonna quick cast another fireball?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. Switch.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't think it's even worth checking it. Even at half damage, they're all going to fry.
Yeah, it's not gonna matter. So they're all gonna die because I'm sure you're gonna do more than 9 points damage. Well, I mean, go ahead and roll for it. Let's see.
Yeah.
That's 8d6, so maybe you'll roll 8 ones. I don't know. And they got a 9 for their save.
31.
Oh yeah, they are dead. However,
course, I've alerted everybody around if there's anything around.
Yeah, there's 2 huge explosions that just went off.
Fireworks.
Alright, hold on here.
Natural gas explosion. Nothing to see here. Move
Yeah.
along.
We're with the power company. We're here to fix your gas lines.
Yeah, as
Oh,
soon as the second explosion goes off, Telfar's going to, want to hide, for sure.
Well, we'll have to wait until your turn. Hold on here.
Oh, initiative's not over?
No.
400 level 20 drow come
They are pissed off.
What's these?
Oh, wait. No, they did better than that. Not much. Ooh.
I hope that's a good one on a dagger.
Ew.
So out of this northeastern passage, 2 drow and a drow elite warrior come running down towards the explosion, and it is Flavius's turn. What would you like to do?
Let's just have a little.
What was that?
is it how tall is the cavern?
It is, and here it is. I believe it is 50 feet, but let me double check that. So the crevasse is 20 feet wide, 40 feet deep. A rotting trunk of zirkwood fungus spans the gap. It is 50 feet high.
Alright, Flavius is going to scream and in rage and then run and jump across the chasm and engage this one right here.
Okay. Make a strength athletics check. What's your strength? So with a 10-foot lead up, you can run.
I have a 20 strength.
Oh yeah, you can totally leap across the cavern, and you can make your attack.
Friends number one for barbarians.
Usually, yeah.
19 to hit.
Yep, that gets him.
Go, flesh blender.
Previous flesh blender.
28 damage.
Wow, yeah, you put him down. Your next attack.
Move 5 feet because I still have 5 feet of movement.
Yep.
And I'll attack him.
All right.
Probably miss this time. 6 and 9 to hit.
Nope, that is a miss. All right. Thrick, what would you like to do?
So I'm gonna go to across the gap
Okay.
and just like cross over to the other side.
Okay.
Do I need to make anything?
Yeah, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, DC 10.
An 8.
So, yeah, that's where you're at, and you take. You take 13 points of bludgeoning damage and fall to the bottom of the chasm.
Alright.
You can start looking for loot down there among all the corpses.
Norte, what would you like to do?
I am going to use some of my movement to do that. What? Why is there a second one?
I know. You took
I was
over.
wondering about that too.
You took over my character.
What
Oh,
is that?
I became possessed with the spirit of.
let me make sure you're set. Yep, you're set up right.
Okay, so I believe. So how far is that?
So the chasm is 20 feet wide.
Okay, so I can probably make that with my guiding bolt.
Yep. Who are you attacking?
The one on the farthest southernmost end. Yeah, that one.
Okay, that is the elite warrior.
Okay, and I am going to cast guiding bolt. So that's 46, 56, 66. $13, 18.
So, what was your to hit?
Oh wait, yeah. That's 18 plus 6.
Yep,
24.
You got him.
That is 28 damage.
All right. And now he is lit up.
So now all attacks that have advantage against him.
Correct. All right. Telfar, what would you like to do?
I do.
I'm gonna. Going to fly 40 feet over here.
Okay.
And I'm going to maintain a distance of about 10 or 15 feet off the ground.
Okay.
And shoot the elite warrior.
All right. Make your attack.
What was I noticed?
With advantage.
What was your stealth check? It was like 25, wasn't it?
It was 25, and then we sniped out the two first drow.
Yeah, no, he doesn't see you. He has a passive perception of 14.
I'm going to sneak attack.
All right.
One to hit.
A 21?
Yes.
Yep, you hit. How much damage did you do?
It was 24.
24 damage?
So I had to reload my Discord.
Oh, okay. 24 damage. And then are you going to stealth again?
Yes.
All right.
Natural 20.
Nice. So that puts you at what, 29?
30.
Nice. Aaron, what would you like to do?
Well, gosh, I'm just excited to be included in all this.
Yeah, we didn't kill them all.
With my initiative of 6.
I know, right?
Well, as a free action, I let go of the armpits of the corpse that I drug up to the edge of the chasm and
Drop it on Brick. Yeah.
Morte, look out below! Or wait, who's down in the bottom?
It's Thrick.
Oh, Thrick. Watch out below! Thud. And I will do. I'm gonna do a, what is it? Sacred Flame. I think I go click over here on this guy. Hang on. There's. Yes. I'm gonna flame him.
The elite warrior.
Yeah.
Okay. So he gets a dex save.
Let's see. Sacred Flame. Click. And
He
dex 14.
He got he made his save with a 16.
Okay.
So does he take? I don't know if he even takes half damage though.
I don't think so, but I can call it up really quick.
I think he dodges it all, doesn't he?
Okay. That should have put up the description, right? Oh, come on, show it. Oh. Huh. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, he doesn't take any damage from if he saves, he takes nothing.
Okay.
So he saved. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
Let's see. I do get a bonus. So what the heck am I going to do with my bonus?
You could stealth.
I'll just stealth.
All right, go ahead and make your stealth check.
There you go. Oh,
Nice.
I'm sorry. I had advantage still clicked.
Oh.
So 17.
17. Okay, so the drow is going to attack Flavius with a short sword.
The previous spells probably wore off already, right?
No. So he's got a 22 to hit.
No.
Alright.
They can hit you, but they can't hurt you.
Not very bad.
For 8 points of piercing damage.
Ooh.
He was super mad drow and like did all the damage. Balrin, a female elite warrior, she's going to run up and attack Flavius with 2 short sword attacks. Soft 20 to hit.
Double hit.
Okay. For 6 points of piercing damage. And a 14 to hit. Which I'm sure misses you.
That will miss. That will miss.
Okay. Alright. Mittens. What you gonna do?
Oops.
I hate to remind you about this. Did you roll advantage for her attacking me?
No, I didn't. Yeah, she missed even worse the second time.
I'm just gonna cast Splash.
Okay.
They get to make little dex saves.
Hold on just a second here. I want to look something up real quick. Okay, so the advantage from Guiding Bolt on the Elite Warrior lasts until the end of Norate's next turn. So Acid Splash, are you trying to hit both of them?
Yep.
Okay. So the regular drow gets a 13, fails, and Balren, nat 20.
Great.
She's
so
like,
the one that failed takes a whopping 10 damage.
that hurts a lot, but they're not dead. They are sizzling and smoking.
I'm just gonna go up there and go.
And so, what about Balren? Does she take half damage?
No damage.
Ah, all right.
You alright down there? You need some help? No. Okay.
Flavius, your attack.
Okay. First attack against the first one in front of him.
Okay,
20 to hit.
that is a hit.
$28 damage.
Yikes! You disembowel the drow.
And then on the other drow,
Nope, that's a miss.
yeah.
But you get one more attack.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's true. 18 to hit.
That hits.
So then, much more damage though. 4, 5, 6, 7. 22 damage.
Oh, you disembowel her.
As a note, in the future, try not to disembowel, because it's really stinky.
Yeah, but then you can point at him and go, ha ha, you can't keep in your guts. Ha ha ha. So, on these guys, so Balren the Elite Warrior has another Obsidian Scarab bearing the insignia of House Avrindar worth 25 gold pieces. And I think Balren should have something more than that because, you know, she's an elite warrior. Her shield that she carried is a +1 shield.
Is that a frig upgrade?
Not at all.
Oh.
He can replace it with his +1 shield. Exactly.
Is it slightly shinier than his +1 shield?
I don't know, that might be a Narate upgrade.
I will try and help Rick out of the user.
Okay.
The shield?
Yeah,
The shield's an Aaron upgrade.
Yeah, it could be an Aaron upgrade. Yeah, it's a +1 shield. So +1 to your
I
AC.
already have pretty good armor. I don't think I need a shield.
Okay?
Do you not use a shield now?
Not really. I mostly use two-handed weapons.
I guess you could save it for Anthony.
Could, or Aaron can use it. I mean,
Yeah.
Aaron's kind of on the low end for AC.
Oh, really?
Well, compared to the rest of you, what your AC is like? What, 16?
Oh, heck no. My AC is scary. It's because I took the dip in cleric. I can do medium armor and shields, and my armor class is now 21.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I can do that.
One with 15 AC.
Yeah, maybe you need a shield.
Oh, you have a
Why
20.
do you use shields?
It's insane. I'm using the studded leather one so that I get still get to keep all my decks, and then I've got the
I've got
a
20.
shield for another 2.
So,
yeah.
So Thrick, you can make a. So is Flavius helping Thrick out of the hole?
Yes.
So Thrick, I'm assuming Flavius is going to use your rope. You can make a strength athletics check.
Alright.
I have a magic rope for that.
I was just gonna say we've got a rope for this. Let's use it.
Nope, I'm already using the regular roll.
Oh.
That's no fun at all.
Did you at least while you're down there look for any loot and all the corpses that must have been thrown down?
You find nothing.
Oh man.
So 11.
Yeah, that's good enough. You're able to pull yourself out. And so that puts you on the other side of the chasm. Did Narate, Mittens, and Aaron want to cross the chasm?
Well, we were going to go north because that was where the trail led.
Well, you saw the drow come out of this cavern here, so you're obviously on the right. You're on the right path.
Can
Alright.
I make a running jump to cross the chasm with my fancy fast boots?
What's your strength check? Or what is your strength score?
17.
So with a 10-foot lead up, you can only jump 10 feet. Or, I'm sorry, 17 feet. But the chasm is 20 feet across. So you would have to make a dex check to make it across the Zirkwood plank.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted to use the rope of climbing and knotted it, I would allow you to fasten it to the other side and use it as a guide rope, and you would get advantage on that check.
Doesn't matter. I rolled an 18 plus 1 is 19.
Yeah, you're on the other side.
Hey.
I'm not proud. I'll use the rope.
Okay, you can make it with advantage.
Alright.
I'm just gonna climb down the thing.
Just a plain
Just at a climb speed.
My little snaky rope snakes out of the backpack, knots itself up, pulls across the little cavern.
And it's a plain dexterity check?
Yep, or no, dexterity athletics.
Athletics?
If you wanted to try and be really fancy about it, I would allow you to use acrobatics.
23.
Yeah. Puts you across. And Mittens.
I'm just climbing down.
Okay, you still have to make an athletics check to climb down.
You know, 20-foot climb speed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Gloves.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, you just climb down and climb back up, and you're across. All right.
I'm not doing any of that stuff.
All right, we will go ahead and break here for the week. So do you guys like this system better with everything already planned out and we're using the Fog of War?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it runs a lot smoother.
I mean, I also like they figure out how to darken stuff.
Yes, yeah, Fog of War is great.
Yeah, this worked out really well.
It did.
Yeah, I thought it went smooth.
We got a lot of progress.
Yeah, you did.
And these session, we just learned a couple things more. See you on the next one.
To our like list of too many people.
Yes. All right. Well, good game, you guys, and I will probably talk to you throughout the week on Facebook, and I hope you have a good week, and I will see you next Friday.
Yay!
Oh,
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Everybody who was watching our cast, thank you so much for watching. If you scroll down, we've got a link directly to a GoFundMe page to help Save Going Gaming, the shop that we all usually play our games in. They are having a hard time getting through the COVID-19 pandemic. But if you are so inclined, we would love to have you donate for us. Anything will help. $1, $2, whatever you can afford. And please go ahead and check out our friends down there, Talon and Claw, who makes beautiful wooden DM screens and dice trays and all manner of goodness. They have some leather dice trays that I've been using tonight. And they have a sale going on right now where they're selling their dice vaults for $25. So you might want to check them out. And then there's the Gilded Archive. She develops leather covers for the core rule books, and she does all the stitching and painting by hand. So definitely check her out. She does beautiful work. And we will see you next Friday at 6:30 p.m. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.